There we are. It keeps like losing my login info. I have to keep like re-putting it in every week. Let me double check. Looks like my mic is working. Thank you for using express lifts. Yeah, that took me a second. I was like, what is he... What the hell's he talking about? Yeah. Hi, Ash. If you're still around. Hi, Tiresias. Woo, actually got the announcement this time. Awesome. Let me move my mic away from me. I think it's probably too close. Just for a change of pace, this next stream is going to have a bit of a cat theme to it. By the way, have the clocks already gone forward in America? Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. I think I meant to mention that last week and I forgot. But yeah. But yeah, we had daylight savings time last Sunday. And hi, Special Iron. Hi, Mantis Brawl. You're not first. Hi, Sticks. Back from Silent Hill. Funny you should mention Silent Hill. I started writing a script for a possible Silent Hill video I might do at some point. Video essay. I couldn't think of the term for some reason. Not looking forward to the clocks going forward in the UK. I hate losing that hour in bed for summer as someone who works. I like my sleep. Yeah. I had a brain fart and was thinking that it was going to get light earlier in the day. Nope. It is now dark when I leave for work in the morning. Actually, it's just starting to get light when I leave for work now, when I go to the office. I thought it seemed an hour earlier than usual, but you still said 1 p.m. Our clocks go forward next week, and I believe... Yeah, I forget that sometimes. I did think of it last week, but I don't think I actually mentioned it. Nice cat ears, thank you. I thought about not wearing them because I'm getting a little tired of them, but I am going to be watching cat videos, so... Not Silent Hill fan fiction. I've already done that. Hi, Hershey. I have the advantage, at least, of having the day off the next day when the clocks go forward. Oh, that's nice. Hi, Adam. That return to dark mornings is always rather jarring, yeah. I'm at least glad I get to work from home on Monday, so I already get to ease into the work week, but it's especially... Where are the hearts coming from? But it's especially nice when daylight savings time. Hi, Julia. Is there a sister for Red Dwarf? How now called Green Gnome? Whatever. I don't think a gnome is a type of star. Okay, well, there's Oh yeah, Special Iron changed back. I almost forgot about that. I guess I'll start up. I thought since I was early, well, actually, I'm only a minute early now, so since I was starting a few minutes early, I thought I wouldn't think there'd be so many people, but more people show up for the Red Dwarf vlog videos, so streams, God. I think I'm part bear or something. I like being cozy and warm inside my cave/living room with the lamp on and the heating on. The world dark and wet and windy outside. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I mentioned this before, but like I think it was like a week before Thanksgiving. I got a 3-day weekend. I was still a temp at the time, so I didn't want to take I didn't want to like take any days off work. But I had a day off anyway, so Lee and I went to Mount Shasta Resort, and we got this little cabin thing, and it was snowing outside, and we just kind of stayed inside and watched TV, which is a silly way to be on a vacation, but it was actually nice and relaxing. And we obviously don't get snow in Sacramento, so. By the way, I was looking through the previous chat, and I have to ask, who the hell is Spicy Iron Imposter Alert? Now, don't start acting like Sticks where you pretend like you're not someone that you obviously are. Well, I'll say that I learned a lot, and I mean a lot, about Cat and everything because of you. Also, did you hear the good news? Red Dwarf is coming back. I don't know that they specifically said it was coming back. They're just kind of in talks about it, I think. Cat and his fancy suits are always a delight, yeah. Now I'm all spiced out. Never liked the Spice Girls anyway. Oh my god. I like that the first thing we see is Cat grinning at us on the screen. I like that I think my computer rebooted at some point, and for whatever reason it didn't automatically start playing this video, so it just went to the title screen. I kind of like it, to be honest. Sounds like a nice holiday. Yeah, it was. I told Chalk. Are we starting again? Yeah, starting again? I was about to start and then the chat picked up. They announced both Grant and Naylor are proceeding forward with their own separate projects involving the existing cast and crew. That's a little weird. I guess they did say that. Okay. Oh, hi, the obtruse one. I forgot to. I just noticed you. I don't know if you posted earlier. I guess I did read that. And that's kind of weird. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but okay, I guess. Hi, Moonbeam. It's going to be specials like Christmas and stuff like that. Not sure about actual seasons. Okay, well, I guess that makes a little more sense. But I think they're going to do the similar to Doctor Who. None of them have been greenlit, but it means they can start working on it. Okay, yeah, that's about what I thought, I think. That's what I think I thought. Oh my god. Yeah, as far as they know, they have both agreed that they both have equal rights to produce the franchise in any way they want. Well, I just got confused because when you said starting again made it sound like I was starting again from the beginning. But yes, I'm going back to the Red Dwarf vlogs. Hi, Adam. I don't think I saw you before. I was surprised to hear about the ongoing legal issues between Rob Grant and Doug Naylor, but I'm glad it's been resolved without any bad blood. Yeah, I would have thought they had. Resolved that by now. Missing D&D, so watching you from the start again. That's cool. Oh, sorry to hear you have COVID, Pajama Critic. More Red Dwarf is not a bad thing. No, I just wish I could be doing something more productive, but I don't have any more artwork to work on yet, so. I listened to some Spice Girls on Spotify the other day. It was pretty good. Well, that's cool. I was never really a fan at the time, but I don't know. It's possible I might like them more in retrospect. I mean, the production company's still called Grant Naylor after all, yeah. Isolating means missing out on some business, so won't be able to make a donation this week. Ah, that's okay. I am gonna suck on a damn cough drop because my throat's really bothering me for some reason. That's what I think I thought, Dina 2023. I would like a full-on reboot, honestly, possibly with a light reimagining. Nah, I'd rather they didn't do that. I would rather they just continued. Unless by light reboot, you mean like, you know, in the vein of Season 5. I think Season 5 is what I'm thinking of. Rob Grant has been out of the game for a while and may have very different ideas to Doug. Not saying they'll be bad, but given their falling out, they may try to go in different directions. Yeah, I mean, that might be for the best if they can't get along or they can't, agree on what to do. My sister loves the Spice Girls, but I remember she couldn't stand them when they first appeared. We're not going to have something like the J.J. Abrams Trek films, are we? Rob Grant has always been the more hard sci-fi guy, while Doug Naylor was more of the plot and big concept guy. It's why seasons 7 through 8 seem to go more sitcom and hijinks over serious science topics. Got good news. Red Dwarf is on Pluto TV. I'm not sure what that is. The bad news is that for some reason it's not on demand in the app, so it's by random chance I get to watch it. Wow, it's like old school TV. If Red Dwarf does get a reboot, I just know they would try to get rid of Kat like they did Apu. No, they wouldn't. Kat's not racist. Also, Kat's not being played by a white guy playing a person of color. How is Kat anything like Apu? That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard anyone say. They both did have different ideas about the show. I think it was Rob who was the first, opposed to having a robot as a main character, as it seemed too cliche at the time. Yeah. Just generally updating the concept a bit. I'm getting a little warm, so I'm going to put my hair up. Generally updating the concept a bit and integrating the retcons like the member crew and whatnot, and maybe updating some of the characters. I don't know. They try to reboot it, was the US version, that's true. Kat being played by a white person would be worse, though. Blackface and all. Yeah, that's entirely different from what Kat actually is. Anyway, I'm gonna play this fucking video. I think that's a good volume for me. Let me know if it's too quiet or too loud or anything. Actually, no, I'm gonna turn it down a tiny bit if I can get to it. I got too much shit on my desk right now. Yeah, I don't have much of a lead in this time. Let's just go right into season 7. Wow. I've literally only worn that outfit once. I was trying to wear something that looked like something Kat would wear, and the only leopard print thing I could find was this leopard print vest that I have in my closet, which I love it, but I almost never wear it because, like, it's warm, but it has no sleeves, so that actually pairs pretty well with that green top. But I think this top doesn't fit right, so it only looks good if you're seeing my upper body. Sorry, I'm just going on about my own wardrobe now. It just caught me off guard seeing myself wear that.
The yard of Vindaloo sauce? You must have had breath that could shear sheep.
Tika to Ride starts off with Kat and Rimmer teaming up to tease Lister, as they tend to do occasionally.
All the code supplies have been destroyed.
We heard.
That's kind of cute. Kat has retained most of his intelligence from season 6, so far anyway. Here he asks a good question regarding the time drive.
Time has returned to the point before we discovered the time machine, right? So what's to stop us going back on board the Gemini 12 and picking it up all over again?
He even takes Rimmer's side in an argument.
You know I'd rather wear sideways pressed flares and a clip-on polyester tie than agree with goalposts here.
Sideways pressed flares, yikes. To do in Whitehole.
I agree with you, buddy, but I'm voting for doo-doo breath. I couldn't put my cross next to the Bri Nylon party.
I've joked before that Kat asks a lot of questions. In the earlier seasons, it was played for laughs.
What is it?
It's a rent in the space-time continuum.
What is it?
But in these later
What
seasons,
is it?
he mainly asks intelligent questions.
While I discard some old cache files.
How come you need more memory? Over the years, you've had more RAM than a field of sheep.
In a way, he acts as an audience surrogate and a way to make...
I used to quote that anytime Lee and I were talking about computer stuff. I'd be like, we have more RAM than a field of sheep.
Crichton's exposition sound more natural. The next day, the dancing has returned. It's actually been a while since he did a twirl like that.
Oh, yeah, he
Later
did kind
on,
of stop dancing for a while.
Being a bit of a technical whiz when it comes to these kind of gizmos.
Since when?
Dallas, 63. No doubt about it.
I love how he just sticks out of the window holding a rifle. Really smooth.
I believe tikka is an Indian dish, but somebody can correct me on that.
What kind of a dude was he?
More questions, this time about Kennedy.
But you guys said Kennedy was a great prez.
It really is a good way to go over this info in a natural-sounding way. Obviously, Kat wouldn't know much about human history aside from fashion and music, so he wouldn't know about JFK, and now that he's been dropped in the middle of it, he's wondering about it. The joke here is kind of cute. Kat smells this corpse and gets just about everything about it wrong.
Male. Mid-30s. Last meal? A salt beef sandwich with extra mayo and the gherkin.
Eric White, single, vegetarian.
I bet I'm right about the gherkin, though.
But what happened to his sense of smell? That was kind of a big deal in season 6.
So am I right in thinking
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
kinda
chance I could
weird.
get a major nuclear explosion all over this suit? Because I'm telling you guys, that stuff does not dry clean.
However, it's never out of character for Kat to be more worried about his clothes than his life. Later on,
That's not chicken, sirs. It's
Oh,
that
here we go.
magnified.
Kat reacting badly to having just eaten barbecued human is interesting. Back in season 2, he said this line.
I'm so hungry, I just have to eat.
British Dutch died.
I prefer chicken.
Actually, that's kind of funny because he thought this was chicken at first.
Chicken's good.
For what it's worth, I've heard human flesh tastes more like pork.
I knew it didn't smell
I just said that so casually.
Oh my god.
But yeah, he's super upset about it.
Right, let's get out of here. I badly need to floss a piece of roasted dead person out of my teeth.
Poor thing.
I don't care where we go, as long as it's before we had dinner.
Yeah, it's not literally cannibalism, but it goes to show how he's been around humans enough to not consider them food. And later on, he even shows a little sympathy for that guy.
Sick. Just standing by and allow the presence.
Truce one.
Not if you're Eric White, it ain't.
True, human flesh does taste more like pork.
It doesn't smell right. I think he's missed.
Well, there's a line right out of season 6. I wonder what he's smelling or not smelling. Fear from the crowd below, maybe. Kat also doesn't want to be the one to shoot JFK to correct the timeline.
Shoot the press? Who? You can count me out. And me.
Kat dressed like a homeless person? Well, the clothes don't look too bad, just boring. I guess I buy it. I'll take that over him looking like a gelf.
An object with such awesome powers.
I almost forgot about that. Oh my god.
First I thought it was me.
I do love how Kat gets along so well with Ace and Stoke Me a Clipper.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
All the better for seeing you, cat old friend. Is that a new suit you're wearing?
Again, I think it's because they have similar fashion sense.
What a guy.
But Kat is like a squealing fangirl, and it's just so freaking cute.
It's Astro Cuts. In the Theta sector, Dimension 24. Ask for Alphonse.
Ow!
He also backs up the other guys when they get on Rimmer about not wanting to talk to Ace.
All right, I'm going.
I love when Kat does that, just kind of stands in the back and makes faces to indicate what side he's on.
Later, bud.
I gotta hand it to Kat for behaving himself during Rimmer's funeral. I can't imagine that
Yeah,
he's too
tikka
torn up
masala.
about it, but
I
he at
couldn't
least seems
think
to
of the
get
whole
that it's
name.
a serious situation.
You came in a box. That explains everything.
I always thought it was weird how the first time we see Kat in Ouroboros, he's wearing a baseball mitt. Who is he playing catch with, and why isn't he concerned about how that mitt doesn't go with what he's wearing?
Good question.
Is it a wibbly thing or a
Why was he...
At this early stage, I'd hate to commit myself and wind up looking a fool.
Oh well, have another brown trousers comment.
Causing a major disturbance in the fabric of
Cat is like a child and it's adorable. Yeah, that's what I love about him.
Disturbance in the fabric of my pants. I recognize
There's another
those
brown
guys.
trousers joke.
Wait, don't tell me.
Oh come on, Kat has always wanted to meet himself. Among other things, but we won't go into that. So yeah, we have an alternate Kat. This one was descended from a Frankenstein that was owned by Kachansky, which seems to have given him a very different personality. I think it's safe to say that he's much more cultured. Sadly, he doesn't get much screen time and only one line of dialogue, so this is all speculation.
Cat with a
I
C.
think it's implied pretty well.
It's actually on his belt.
Look how stiff he is.
In return, maybe we can unscrew all those old pickle jars you can't open.
He seems embarrassed by the behavior of our cat. Speaking of which, I could kind of do without Cat's occasionally creepy behavior when it comes to Kachansky. I guess it's not out of character, he hasn't been around women much, but it's one of my less favorite aspects of Season 7 Cat.
Who is? Officer Monday.
I'm not really down with him calling her babe.
Just follow my cords.
Your cords?
Yeah, my cords.
You're not talking about trousers, are you?
Coordinates.
To be fair, that one could be more of a cat is dumb gag.
Need a power reroute in the auxiliary power drives.
I'll take care of that. Whatever it is.
Again, even though this scene is cute, I'm not a fan of Cat suddenly not knowing how the ship works.
Yeah.
At least he looks really pretty in this shot.
About that power simililum drive? Taken care of.
And his trying to impress Kachansky is kind of adorable. Also, here's alternate Cat's one line of dialogue.
Here's the 2,000 bulbs of garlic your lister dude wanted.
Damn, that is one deep, sexy voice. I really wish we got to know this guy a little better. Kind of a wasted opportunity.
Right?
Even when I know what I'm gonna say.
I wanted to see more of alternate Cat.
You and you alone.
Duck Soup starts off with more grossness.
My God, a G-string.
Could be worse, though. First time I saw this, I figured that since Cat was the first one there, he was the one who turned up the heat to shrink her clothes on purpose so she'd have nothing to wear. Later, I realized that the idea is that Crichton did it on purpose subconsciously as kind of a precursor.
Yeah, that's
when
giving
he
Cat
ended
way
up
too
with
much
Lady.
credit, too.
This ship's careening out of control through space with absolutely zero expertise at the helm.
Stop drooling over past Cat.
How dare you? Cat is a
Never.
great pilot. Did I make that joke before? Oh well, it bears repeating. I'm honestly kind of annoyed that she insulted Cat on the one thing he does well. Then again, it's not Season 6 anymore. Maybe his piloting skills went down. So Lister has claustrophobia, and I love how everyone is okay with leaving Cat with him.
Boy, is it cramped. Ooh-wee.
Because Cat always knows how to act in these situations.
Talk about cooped up, Cat.
And he's not even doing it on purpose. He just has no filter, basically.
How come you didn't get it when we was in that tunnel when all the walls...
I don't always get it, okay?
He is trying, though, which is something.
Oh, sorry. Not supposed to talk about that, right? Right. So how'd you get to be claustrophobic? Are you born that way, or is it because you're kind of sissy? Stop seeing me.
Kind of sissy.
Break time. She gave you claustrophobia? How do you think you could get it like that?
Oh god, he thinks claustrophobia is an STD. I can't even. He may not make use out of Cat's sense of smell, but he still has his great hearing.
Like a watery kind of roaring noise. It's like water roaring down, say, a passageway. In a kind of roaring, watery kind of way.
Too bad he's not very good at describing what he's hearing.
Is it a roaring, watery kind of noise?
This is a different kind of noise.
Is it a sort of cat being smacked on the head by a smacked off Lister's fist kind of noise?
And here comes one of my favorite Cat moments.
Yeah, here we
I
go.
always say the hardest part about leaving cyberspace is realizing the whole universe does not revolve around you.
Sure doesn't. It
Revolves around me.
like food. Until I bite into it, it has no taste. All of the interesting things that ever happened to me happened when I was in the room. Coincidence? Get out of here.
That's Cat logic right there. So everyone drops down from the vent, where Cat ends up in the closet somehow. Because Cat, I guess. I think even he isn't sure how that worked.
We spent the night crawling from one end of this ship to God knows where I'm back for absolutely no reason.
Angry wet kitty.
Ear.
Yeah, irritating, awkward, and unsightly. He was the human equivalent of a visible panty line.
Blue starts off with,
And I'm just trying to prevent us from being scattered all over the galaxy like some kind of cosmic seasoning.
yeah, so much for letting
Cosmic
the characters
seasoning.
grow and improve. Gotta dumb them down so Kachansky seems smarter.
I was reading the baked potato timer by mistake. People not leave it in here. It just makes us look like we don't know what the hell we're doing.
That is a cute line, though.
Auxiliary flight modulator is short-circuited.
And the chocolate dispensers ejected all the nutty fruit snack bars onto the galley floor.
I love Cat's status reports that are about a vending machine blowing up and only that.
Nutty fruit bars sliding about.
Nutty
Also,
fruit
I kinda
bars
like
sliding
Cat with
about.
messed up hair.
What a smackhead.
I think that's only the second time Cat has ever said
Cat was so
Smeghead
pretty
on
in
the
season
show.
7.
Of course, both times he was referring to Rimmer.
Why do I want to look like that smaghead Rimmer for?
We're not going to have any games that involve dropping trousers and lighting stuff.
Well, that takes care of most of the repertoire.
Wow, their off-screen games have gotten really lowbrow.
So what games do you play then? Match the body part to the crew member?
I always loved that one.
Guess whose body is sticking through a hole in the curtain?
Shall I add that one to the slate bud?
They used to ride unicycles and hit a beach ball back and forth with baguettes. Now we're up to the Rimmer experience, so there isn't a lot to say that I didn't already cover when I talked about this episode. Though I somehow missed that Lister is in his long johns. Also, I love Rimmer giving Cat fashion tips.
So you see, Cat, if you wear the green paisley shirt with the cavalry quill trousers, you can be dignified and fashionable at the same time.
And that pisses Cat right off.
Cavalry twill? What do you think I am, a woodwork teacher?
Other than that, I love Cat's expression at the end. Just baring his teeth like an animal. That's how mad he is.
I have to do everything around here. I never get a second to myself. Cat do this, cat do that. What am I, a dog?
In Beyond a Joke, we learn that
It's the luckiest find I've made since I discovered that tube of leg wax under the Mediscanner.
You found my leg wax?
Cat waxes his legs. I guess that's better than curling his leg hairs. Less effort, at least. Later, after Crichton's little episode, they're all pretending they like the
I just had to
lobster
show
meat,
that.
Except,
Are we eating the same stuff?
also the look on his face when Crichton's head explodes all over the table. I love it when he randomly sticks his tongue out like that. It's such a Cat thing. Later on,
Life without a head. That's gonna put a real crimp on his lifestyle. I mean, what can you do without a head?
Apart from being you, hardly anything.
Cat is dumb gags. They never get old.
Any clues when it was built?
It had those big crystalline turbine drives. I'd say 21st or 22nd century.
And once again, he almost sounds smart for a second, and then
At the outside, 25th, 26th, or 27th. But don't hold me to it. Maybe 29th.
it just never stops.
You smell good. Thanks.
Yeah, Lister wouldn't be saying that if Cat smelled like fish. Just saying. Speaking of things I don't believe
Keep
for a
going
second,
back to that.
Cat willingly looking like a gelf is pretty much at the top of that list. Though the way he does the voice is funny. Also this bit.
No, really got that.
You speak Earth,
Fun fact, I don't think Danny knew that he was going to be shown with the headpiece off. Notice that his hair is cornrowed. That's something that Cat wouldn't have to do.
The only reason I can think of is if we planted something on the Centauri and we knew it was going to blow any second.
But we haven't.
No, we haven't.
I love this bit where Kachansky comes up with this plan where they have to act as if they've planted a bomb, and Cat just can't quite wrap his head around it.
So wait a minute. Even though we didn't plant a bomb, the only thing that really explains what we're doing is if we did. Which we didn't. But we must have. Because otherwise all we're doing is totally nuts.
Exactly.
All in a day's work for
Confuse a cat.
Anything you want from the wardrobe? I can? Great. I need some hangers.
On to Epideme.
What is that
I
thing?
love that line.
Allotropically modified, surrounded by an envelope of luminous gases.
Thanks. That's most helpful. What is it?
That's cute. Here's also a bit where Cat talks about his lack of education.
That's why sometimes I don't know stuff. Like, well, practically everything.
That's kind of precious. Also,
Was this because you brought yourself up, sir?
Right.
geez, creators, I know you weren't thrilled with how Waiting for God came out, but you didn't have to retcon the cat priest.
There was no one else around, so I had to teach myself. And seeing as I didn't know anything to begin with, lessons were long and slow.
Aside from that, I still like this bit. Cat isn't normally one to open up, so this is an interesting look into his past.
Just have a different perspective on pain, Craig. As would you if every summer you had to pour
Well, you haven't missed
wax
very
on
much,
your
Flash.
crotch and rip out half your thatch.
He's right. I hate doing that.
Cat waxing his bikini line is nothing new, but I still loved his response there.
Is that why the common chick looked like the centerfold from this month's play zombie?
I think season 7 is the only one where Cat randomly makes Dwayne Dibley faces. It's cute, I guess, but kind of random.
Laser bone saucer, quickly!
This is one of those scenes where Cat doesn't do anything other than react, but his reactions really make the scene that much funnier.
Okay, you did what you had to do to save me life.
And again.
Buddy, you look great!
Also, Cat is dumb, and it's not going to be the last time he tries to shake Lister's non-existent hand.
What am I going to do with 58 minutes more life?
Have half a juggling lesson?
You're really not helping.
Really, does he ever?
How are we doing?
Like a speeding bullet stuck in the back end of a bat out of hell.
Only Cat
Passion
can be that
reviews.
sassy while piloting a space shuttle. Also, speaking of Cat's reactions,
Did you see that? Did she?
that's one epic fall over. Notice
Probably
that he's
the
still on the
best.
floor and still pointing, even as they have to step over him.
We've been here before.
Of course we have. It's the cockpit, dummy. We come here all the time.
In Nanarchy,
The painter dude. You know, the one with one arm. Bang, go, go, go.
he starts off not only getting Van Gogh's name wrong, but which body part he cut off.
See? That dude manages to cut off his own head with just one arm, and you're worried about not living a normal life.
He also doesn't realize that one-armed bandit is a slang term for slot machines.
The most popular pub games of the 20th century.
And it only had one arm? What a heartwarming story.
Here's another great scene kind of reminiscent of how unhelpful he was in Duck Soup.
It's a real son of a bitch about your arm, bud.
Actually, my favorite part is him saying, "Can you imagine that?" to the guy the thing he's talking about happened to.
Can you imagine that? And it stands to reason we must need two arms. That's why we got two arms. Well, except you.
He's saying such awful things, but you know he thinks he's being helpful.
If it were me, I couldn't survive. I couldn't stand the thought of not being perfect.
It's cringe-inducing, but also weirdly cute. He ends up comparing Lister to an ugly three-legged pit bull terrier.
It loses its legs somehow, and the pit bull says to you, "Hey man, I've only got 3 legs. Will Lady Pitbull still like me?"
That little giggle kills me.
Hell, he'd be ugly if you put him in a suit and gave him a carnation. So here's something I think is gonna cheer you up, Mr. Pitbull. Put it there, buddy.
Even if I don't like everything about Cat in Season 7, he's still the best thing in it.
So take him outside and do something to him. Ideally involving ice cubes in any puckered body cavity.
The look on Cat's face, though, like, what's his problem?
Cogent paradigm.
I'd rather have a good example.
I also love this bit where Crichton explains how the nanobots are able to break down objects and rebuild them into other objects.
It's possible to make diamonds out of pencils?
He's like, "I learned something today."
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking wearing leather underpants with silver studs is a real mistake if you put them on inside out.
Okay, Pinky.
I'm thinking about being mad at you and ice cubes again.
As in Pinky in the
Cat gives him
brain,
that
not the
confused
other
look
Pinky.
again. He really just doesn't know what Lister's problem is.
Hey, feels like the storm's easing off. Come see for yourself.
I feel like Cat only said that so he wouldn't have to go back out there alone. Finally, I love how Cat doesn't notice right away that Red Dwarf is way bigger than it's supposed to be.
Guys, we got a problem.
So that's Cat from Season 7. Unfortunately, he's been dumbed down from Season 6, and that's too bad. His dumb moments are funny, but I really liked that he was basically growing and improving up
Diamonds
until
out of
this point.
pencils.
He actually earned some respect in Season 6, and while he's still useful in the sense that he can still pilot Starbug, he's lost a lot of credibility. As far as his look goes, there's kind of a lot of eyeshadow now, though the lip part is inconsistent. Sometimes he seems to be wearing lip gloss, other times not. And don't even get me started on this look at the end of Nanarchy. As far as his hair is
It's like
concerned,
metallic
it's a bit
dark
like
red
Season
lipstick.
6,
What were
but
they
more
thinking?
brown than black, a bit more poofy again, and the ponytail, instead of being a neat little curl, is kind of separated out and is secured with a black ribbon tied in a little bow. I actually like that. It looks a bit colonial. As far as his clothing is concerned, still the same base, the black vinyl turtleneck with black vinyl quilted leggings and usually the cat belt, but he changes the jacket a little more often now. In the beginning of Tika to Ride, he's wearing a gorgeous long purple velvet blazer with a pin that's a little hard to make out. Later on, he changes to a yellow blazer over a yellow satin shirt with black buttons and suspenders, along with that little heart choker he sometimes wears. In Stoke Me a Clipper, he kind of breaks the trend by wearing an orange suit with a shiny black shirt with a matching handkerchief and a silver pin that looks like a crown. Not sure how I feel about that color, but oh well. No cat belt even. At Rimmer's funeral, he's wearing what I think is that same black shirt with what looks like black slacks with this amazing snakeskin textured vinyl jacket. Not sure how I feel about the cat belt being over it, though. In Ouroboros, he starts off in this gorgeous textured red satin double-breasted blazer with a big star-shaped gold pin. I love this outfit, and I hate that he changes it later, especially since it's just the peach-colored jacket from Sirens, only with the cat belt this time. Alternate Cat is wearing pants and a waist-length jacket that are made out of the same brown leopard print, with the gold version of the cat belt and some kind of silvery gray turtleneck. That's a lot of leopard print, but I guess he pulls it off. In Duck Soup, he wears another zebra print jacket, only this one is waist-length, and he wears it with black gloves. I have no idea why Kachansky is wearing his jacket near the end. Not only is it out of character for him to share, well, anything of his, but especially his clothes, but the disaster they're trying to avoid is Starbug flying into the sun, and it's very hot inside. Like, I think she can handle getting wet without catching pneumonia, guys. And this is the only time we get to see Cat's vinyl outfit without a jacket covering most of it, and he's in the dark. Damn it. In blue, Cat starts off wearing, well, blue. Okay, more like a turquoise blazer that looks velvety and has the little crown pin from Stoke Me a Clipper. Later, it's a pink blazer that also looks velvety and has a black pin that looks vaguely like a corsage. In the Rimmer experience, he's wearing the same black and white jacket, vest, shirt, tie combo from the beginning of Marooned, but with the black vinyl pants. I hate how much his hair looks like a wig, but I do like the big poofy bow in the back. In Beyond a Joke, he starts off wearing a leopard print jacket that I could have sworn I'd seen before, but nope. I guess he's just worn that much leopard print that I'm getting confused. Anyway, it's longish with black trim, and he's wearing it with the gold cat belt on the outside and a gold heart-shaped necklace, which he has worn several times before. I won't go into what he wears in the game. It suits his personality and works for the time period, so I get why they chose it, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Especially since there's facial hair involved. And later on, he wears that same orange suit from Stoke Me a Clipper again. In Epideme, he starts off wearing a fuzzy lime green jacket with the sparkly black shirt and heart choker from Stoke Me a Clipper with the black corsage-looking pin from Blue. Later on, he layers on that fur coat and hat from Marooned, only without the pin. Later still, he wears what is probably my favorite outfit of his, or it's in the top 10 anyway. It's a knee-length zebra print coat that's form-fitting to the waist and then flares out, with black lapels and that crown pin again. I just love the shape of this coat. It's a bit reminiscent of his famous outfit from Camille, only the coat is not as long and shaped a little differently, and there's no pink tunic underneath. In Nanarchy, it's a blue sequin waist-length jacket with quilted satin accents and diamond buttons. It's gorgeous, but it's part of the set he wears later during the dance scene in Back in the Red, and I kind of wish they'd saved it for that, since it's kind of a big Cat moment. Oh well. Later on, the heart choker and black vinyl snakeskin jacket return, along with a glittery brown shirt, which looks great with his skin color. Later, that jacket is replaced with a brown leopard print jacket that's kind of velvety looking. And I want to slap whoever's idea it was to put this metallic deep red lipstick on him. What the hell, makeup department?
I forgot that I mentioned that again.
It changes back to the exact zebra print jacket from earlier for some reason, and it's basically going to stick around until I get tired of it. Okay, despite the snark at the end there, I think his clothing in Season 7 might be the one thing that's an improvement over Season 6. I liked those outfits, but they were barely enough to fill out the season. He did get to wear 2 in Gunmen of the Apocalypse, but one of those ended up getting worn again only 2 episodes later. In Season 7, he wears about 2 outfits per episode, and while some of them look a bit too much like palette swaps of each other, most of them
That
are really
face he was making
interesting,
there.
and the wardrobe department seemed to be playing with textures a lot. For example, I never would have thought to pair textured satin or velvet or fur with glossy vinyl. It makes these outfits really unique and interesting. Also, it's kind of amusing to look back at how much jungle print he's worn by this point. I wasn't kidding when I said I thought he'd worn this jacket before. I honestly went back and looked, and no, he didn't. Similar ones, sure, but not this exact one. So that's about all I have to say about Cat in Season 7. Next up
Priorities.
will hopefully be Seasons 8 and 9 in the same video, but I'm always flying by the seat of my pants with this series, so who knows. Either way, see you then.
I think I do.
What do you say, Mother Border?
Too heavy, sir. With the strain and extra weight, it would be impossible for Mr. Lister even to get it up.
He could always take it off if he was going on a date.
Get it up.
Show.
Whoops. Hang on. My speaker's in the way here. Oh, I guess we should watch the theme song one time. I forgot that I normally do that. Okay, let me get caught up on the chat. I'm hoping to get these 3 videos. There's this one, and then there's the cat videos for... You know, I wonder if these are out of order, actually. I feel like Back to Earth should have come before that last cat video, maybe. But whatever. I've never thought Cat was racist. The whole point about the show was not to focus on race. Not once in any episode, to my knowledge, was the issue of racism brought up. Yeah, no, he's not at all.
No one would be offended by Cat. I can't think of anyone who would be offended by Cat. If anything, he seems kind of progressive with being a man who acts kind of effeminate. My opinion, as long as the show continues in a similar vein to season 8, it should be alright. Oh, post season 8, duh. Took me a second. I was like... Sophia kept waking me up last night. I woke up at 3:30 and she had a shit-eating grin on her face. Even the Cyberberg cat mascots on the background monitor seem to be looking at you as if to say, what the hell are you wearing? That's funny. Who's up for some curry? Curry does sound kind of good to me right now. Always love doo-doo breath. Yeah, just the way he slips that in is funny. Special Iron had curry and chips earlier. Never had chicken tikka masala. I've made chicken vindaloo before, like a couple times. I don't know if I made it exactly right, but it was pretty good. Crichton is actually an amazing android. He always acts like an android. It's actually impressive. Personally, I'd say the main difference between Season 1 Cat and Season 7 Cat is experience. Yeah. Well, 1 through 6 anyway. In Season 7, he kind of backtracks a little. Love using curry when making lentil soup. I put it in with some tofu and other spices, and it's great. That does sound pretty good. I've heard of human flesh being referred to as long pork. It's actually a hint that Will Turner fails to pick up on in the second Pirates film. Yeah, I believe that's why they call it that. The last chicken in the shop look. I'm surprised the other dwarfers didn't force Lister to eat his least favorite foods as revenge. Yeah, that would have been a good... Sorry, itchy back. That would have been a good revenge. Make him eat spaghetti. Or pasta. I think pasta specifically was what he said. Cat and Ace complement each other really well. They do. Never realized until they interacted in that episode. Tikka masala is a curry sold in Indian restaurants here, but it's a British creation invented in Glasgow. That's interesting. Ace is my role model. I mean, Cat's kind of mine, so I can't really I can't really criticize too much. Obviously, Cat wasn't mentally affected by the polymorph when he imitated a homeless person this time. Yeah. Every day I wake up and I'm skydiving and riding a crocodile. He did meet himself in Camille, yeah. Yeah, my point was that he acted differently then. Didn't we have a joke about misspelling Crichton's name with a C this season? I don't remember that. The Lilum Drive taken care of. I'm sorry, you've run out of credits. Yeah, it's the same voice. Lister's looking quite cute. Lister is cute. Gross as he is cute. It's weird hearing Cat with a deep voice. Yeah, it is. Alternate Cat sounds like Cat Prime's Queen impression. I'm not sure what you're saying there. I remember when people made a huge deal about thongs. I was going to say, would Cat even know that high heat would cause the outfit to shrink? Yeah, like I said, I gave him a little too much credit there. Actually, good point. He might know, because he does know a lot about clothes and how to take care of them and stuff. So yeah, actually, yeah, that he could have theoretically done that. He didn't, but... I love how Cat has no notion of reading the room. My favorite Catisms are when he just accidentally says offensive things or like mean things, whatever. She gave you claustrophobia? I didn't know you could get it like that. Cast is so perfect. They all have great chemistry and it's amazing. Yeah. I don't know if Cat likes small, cramped spaces in real life, but I had one who liked to get into an empty drawer space when he was bored. Yeah, that's a good point. Cat was probably perfectly comfortable in the ducts. Speaking of how Tara, I'm pretty sure she's curled up on the bed upstairs, or at least she was before I started. So yeah, she's not around. She's not around. She's actually been sleeping up there more often lately. That's why she hasn't been in streams as much lately. Cat's a friend you all need, but all want to get away from. Pretty much. Baguette Beach Ball is quite the game dens. Oh, Dina, is what you were trying to say there. I thought you were saying game den. Intentionally, anyway. To me, the Rimmer song is equal parts hilarious, the lyrics, and terrifying. The mini Rimmers, yeah. Wouldn't Americans use the term shop teacher instead of woodwork teacher? Yeah, that's true. Generally, Cat speaks with an American accent, but he still says British slang. Like I know, like he said full stop instead of a period. But did Cat ever get to use his hot wax strip unsightly hair remover again? I assume he did at some point. Has Rimmer ever done anything nice without an ulterior motive? Yeah, in that one Valentine's Day episode that I suddenly can't remember, the one with the hollow... Oh, I guess it was called Hollow Ship, wasn't it? Yeah, there was that, and I think that was the only time. So does Danny shave his head, or is he just naturally bald? I don't think he's completely bald, so I don't think he's shaving his head. Well, I haven't seen him out of character in a while. He burned his toy soldiers to keep Lister alive. That's true. That was probably the last time, though. Last time he did anything nice for Lister, I mean. It's weird that when they go into P&P world, Cat is dressed at... Oh, Pride and Prejudice. Cat is dressed as the character Mr. Wickham. You'd think he'd be one of the dandier characters, not the closest thing the book has to an antagonist. See, I'm not that familiar with Pride and Prejudice, so I didn't know what sort of character he was trying to be. That's funny. Belated high flash. Yeah. Daylight savings time was last Sunday for me. I'm like I was telling people earlier, I meant to mention it in last week's stream and I forgot. I know I thought about it last week. Is that an Ewok? I don't know what you're talking about. The Red Dwarf creators seem to retcon a lot. They do. Remember that Rob and Doug aren't exactly proud of waiting for God. Maybe that's why. Well, yeah, I mean, that's I acknowledge that, but I still wish they hadn't retconned the cat priest. Always hated those old sitcom moments where the big joke is a man cares about his grooming and beauty. I don't know. I think it's fine when it's done well. Works for Cat. To be fair, I'm still curious about Cat's life before Lister and Rimmer came along. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know more about that, but by nature, he's mysterious, so. Back to fashion reviews. I think I read that out loud earlier, but. Lister is always his own dad. Cat is indeed silly. Also, the reason why they never revisited Lister's son getting killed in the drive room, Lister being far too casual about it. Yeah, that was not a shining moment for Lister. Cat never listened to Def Leppard? Oh, the band with the one-armed drummer. Oh, I forgot that was the case with Def Leppard. Cat literally finds it impossible to say something with a double meaning. Lost his arm in a seatbelt accident. That's interesting. Okay, Mantis Brawl. I'm only rubbing in the fact that he lost his arm. What's wrong with that? That's exactly his that's exactly how he thinks of it. Joke time, why did the slug cross the street? I'll tell you when he actually gets across. It's possible to turn any one type of carbon into another type of carbon. Cat has never seen Superman crush a lump of coal into a diamond. Yeah. Hi, Taijan. Carbons don't exist. That's all Star Trek crap, and it's far too early for that. No, we're not early, Taijan. I mean, I guess in a sense, but daylight savings time was last week for me. A man hears a knock at the door, opens it, and sees a snail on the doorstep. Just for a laugh, he picks it up and throws it across the street. A year later, he hears a knock on the door, and when he opens it, it's the same snail. What was that for? I have Ace Rimmer's golden costume in my dresser. Sure you do. Oh yeah, yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. It was also the 1-year anniversary of when I started my job, except, well, when I started it as a temp. I started on St. Patrick's Day, and I was in the office on my first day, and I wore green, and I'd painted my nails green, and there was nobody there, almost. I was trying to be all festive. We still need a word count of every time Dina says vinyl shirt, pants, satin, black, cat belt, blazer, pin, and leggings. Someone said that there should be a drinking game. In the comments section of one of these videos, someone said there should be a drinking game of any time I say that, like, it's almost too garish, but the black balances it out, something to that effect. I can't remember how they worded it exactly, but yeah. Didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day. I spent that day around my parents' place. Ah. I thought about having a drink last night and I never got around to it. St. Patrick's Day seems like a good day to have absinthe. And I have absinthe and it's pretty good, but absinthe is very strong and I wasn't quite feeling like getting drunk last night. I had artwork to do. Nobody knew it was St. Patrick's Day. Dina, I wanted to see the full vinyl outfit, damn it. I did. Cat could be a good fashion consultant. He could. Excuse me. Australian. Don't forget the word count of gold. I say gold a lot. Love these outfit descriptions. Howard Burden, are you taking notes? I imagine that the guy who does the costumes for Red Dwarf would appreciate those bits, because I imagine not too many people go into detail about any costumes on Red Dwarf. How is Bearhead Spicy doing? I don't know why, but I just got the image of Cat playing GTA 5. Another video Dina was apparently watching at one point. Yeah, sometimes if like I get a comment on a video and they put in a timestamp, sometimes I'll actually click on it to see what they're referring to or what they're reacting to or whatever. And then other times, sometimes if like I'll get a comment on a video and I'm like, you know what, I haven't seen that one in a while. I'll go back and watch it just to get an idea of what they might have been, just kind of remind myself of what they were seeing when they made the comment or whatever. I often wondered who would win in a contest where the objective was to miss the point. Cat versus Ralph Wiggum. Isn't Back to Earth next? Yeah. Well, yeah, it says right up there. Dog people might be offended by Cat. Yeah, the writers made sure not to make any mention of anyone's race. I think Lister was originally written as an older white guy until Craig Charles came along. Yeah, that sounds about right. I understand how Cat is a racist. He's a caricature of a cat and his skin color never comes up. Plus, he is one of the main characters. Yeah. I guess I could see maybe seeing him as a black stereotype, but that's clearly not what they're going for. I did indeed have curry and chips, and they were scrumdiddlyumptious. Terry Feral Cat was more a human woman in a cat costume. I don't know, I thought she was cat-like enough. Wash it down with yesterday's warm lager. Ugh. Indian food is very popular here in the UK. Yeah, I've gathered that. There's Indian restaurants and takeaways everywhere. It's like how Mexican food is really popular in the US. That's probably, yeah. I always compared it to Chinese food, but yeah, Mexican food would be another example. Backtracking is sort of my problem with Cat as well, and Lister's intelligence seems to yo-yo as well. That's true. Which is a shame. I love the revelation that he was reasonably intelligent. Yeah, Lister, when Lister's at his best, he really fits the brilliant but lazy trope. I still think Cat evolves from being a stray in season 1 and 2. I'm only round for the food. To an adopted stray in seasons 3 and 4, I don't care about you even if I follow you everywhere, and a house cat in season 5 and up. That sounds about right. Was it at least warm in honor of Lister? Yeah, the bit where Crichton dreams that Lister and Kachansky send him away. They give him a key ring with a C on it. Oh, right, I forgot about that. Hi, Brandon. We're still yet to learn where Kat got his American accent from. What shows did he watch growing up? Good point. Well, probably just a lot of American shows in general, I would guess. Oh, hi, Noah. Somehow you made another stream. Well, the best Rimmerisms is in Series 10. Splendissimo and Hey Ho Pip and Dandy. Yeah, that's a good one. Sometimes Crichton says British things as well. He refers to beer as lager at least twice. Yeah. If you follow the books, Kat's American accent and British terminology is likely a result of him learning how to speak from watching old videos on the ship's hold. Yeah. Figure it's because of how the Jupiter Mining Corporation is a combination British and American company and merged cultures. Dollar pound is the currency. That's true. So the ship's entertainment, he would have learned English from would likely be mostly American classic entertainment. We know he saw the Flintstones, but the instructional video is more British. That's true. Didn't Rimmer literally become Ace to save the universe? I'd say that's a nice thing with no ulterior motive. Okay, but yeah, that's true. Hi, Birdie. I'm born and raised in Texas, but I use a lot of British slang because of Red Dwarf and a few other shows growing up. Yeah, I had a friend who was a bit of an Anglophile, and he would sometimes say bum instead of butt and things like that. Case in point, the Series 8 finale seems to have been retconned, with the alternate ending seemingly being canon, yeah. Did they retcon the Cat Priest? Well, Cat was saying that he grew up by himself, so I'd say that's retconning the Cat Priest. Cat got stuffy? I'm not sure what you mean. I personally think that better and more frequent internet communication is causing people from different countries to pick up on each other's way of speaking. Mantis Brawl said that's a good point. Yeah, it is. Okay, Hershey, thanks for stopping by. Probably long gone. Birdie is the word. More like birdie is the wordy. Oops, damn it. There it goes. Hi, Jackie. Happy belated work anniversary. Thank you. And this year I was at home on on St. Patrick's Day, so still couldn't wear green for anybody. Current John. It'd be pretty bad to be on the John for over a year. Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess you did get your job around the same time that I did. Wonder how many times Dina said, "Don't remind me of the Silent Hill movie." I don't know that I've said it that many times, but it's possible I've said it more than I remember. I can barely manage a UK accent. I love Blair Witch, the original anyway. My experience, St. Patrick's Day just kind of exists. Nobody really celebrates it, if they even remember it. Yeah, same. I try to wear green on St. Patrick's Day just because I think it's kind of fun, but that's about it. I've only seen the Blair Witch once. I don't know much about her beyond being a bit camera shy. Well, they still did make it seem, sorry, I'm responding to a comment I didn't read out loud. She never shows herself on film. That's her shtick. Except for the Blair Witch, where apparently she did, and I know people are going to argue with me, but really, if not, then it really seemed like she did, and I didn't like that. Another fun fact, Holly originally was written as a woman before Norman Lovett was cast. Oh, that's interesting. Which makes Hattie Hayridge taking over a bit hilarious in hindsight. Well, Holly was sort of based off of Hal from 2001. So I would assume that they picked, a soft-spoken man for the role intentionally. That's kind of odd if they were planning to have Holly be a woman. Chinese food is a great comparison because it's very popular in America and we call it Chinese food, but it bears no resemblance to any food made in part of China. Same with UK and Indian food. That is a good point, actually. Probably most Mexican restaurants are probably closer to Mexican food than Chinese American food is to actual Chinese food. Wasn't Norman a massive pain in the butt? Apparently sometimes. I actually remember Craig Charles once described Lister as having sort of become the social worker of the crew. So no BBC on the Red Dwarf? I'm not sure what you mean. I don't think my American accent would be very good. My dad and I watched The Traitors US, and one of the contestants was a Southern guy, and we kept imitating him. That made you happy. That's good. Birdie is the wordy. At least the St. Patrick's Day was different from last year's. It's true. I saw photos from Dublin, and it was like, where's Wally, only more like Spot the American. Easy mode, the people wearing neon green felt the leprechaun hats. Oh, green felt leprechaun hats, duh. So like only Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day. That's funny. Yeah, for me, St. Patrick's Day is just people wearing shamrock motif hats and drinking more than usual. Yeah, pretty much. Happy Thanksgiving, what? Yeah, I know they intended to show her, but they failed to turn the camera around in time when Heather shouts, "What the fuck is that?" Oh, interesting. Hi, George. I'm actually getting hungry. I'm going to go grab something to eat really quick. I'll be right back. Finally gonna finish off these walnuts. Apparently the thing we see in the new Blair Witch film isn't the Blair Witch, but one of her victims now acting as a puppet for her. Whatever. Whoops, where's my Thribble? Hi again, Ash. I'm going to a chill festival today, but have enough time to watch a bit. That's cool. Only really Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day, ironically. That's pretty funny. I think we get all sorts of Asian cuisine over here, but some are indeed dedicated Cantonese restaurants. That scene was more they were way off in the woods wearing white sheets, and Heather and Josh were supposed to look over and catch this blurry white thing in the distance. That was when Blair Witch was supposed to be in full mockumentary, where it would be partially the found footage and partially interviews and analysis of it. They ended up splitting that part off into the Sci-Fi Channel special. Yeah, I do remember that. I've seen that. That scene where the tent gets pushed about and they go running, Heather shouting, "What the fuck is that?" was her actually seeing a figure. You know what's funny is when I first saw that movie, I thought I saw something. Because the woods are all blurry and there's so much there. And on later viewings, I realized I just imagined it. Everyone talking about Blair Witch, and I'm thinking, what can I say? Didn't care for it because I don't like found footage. Well, that's fair, I guess. Am I walnuts for that room with the moose? Yep, I was totally thinking about that. Holly wasn't originally going to have any face. Oh, that's right. I remember Norman saying that in an interview. It was halfway through filming the first series when Norman complained enough that they agreed to edit him in. I think they made the right. I think that was the right choice, though. To be fair, I just like to think of it as a local scout troop meeting, messing with them. I maintain that. God damn it, you guys! I was almost caught up. I maintain that the only thing scary about the Blair Witch Project was seeing it in the cinema and some idiot dropped the beer bottle he smuggled in. I disagree, but that is pretty funny that happened. One time when Lee and I went to see Clerks 2, there was this really quiet scene. It was the scene where Dante and Randall, God, I can't believe I forgot their names. They were like having this, frank discussion, and it was very quiet. And suddenly, like, the fucking theme song to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kicks in, and I was like, well, that's an odd musical choice. And it turned out to be somebody's phone going off. It was pretty funny. That's why Lister appears to be talking to the heavens and waiting for God. Maybe I just have a bugbear about inherently silly concepts, i.e. mockumentaries being played straight. I don't know what's silly about it. I went for a walk the other night and was stepping on sticks and stuff, and the cracks in the sticks made me breathe heavily and be really anxious. Blair Witch is kind of hilarious to me, and at its core, it's 3 actors being pranked and terrorized by their trolling production crew. Yeah, it kind of is. When you learn that about it, you kind of look at it in a slightly different way. Apparently not a lot of it was scripted. They just, gave them kind of a vague idea of what to talk about. And they also, did things unexpectedly to them to scare them. So there was a lot of, forced method acting. I've never actually seen Paranormal Activity. Unless you were asking Tolchok. All right, here we go. This might be the last time I use the long theme. Sorry. Back to Earth.
Welcome to Back to Earth. Like I said at the end of Season 8, the show went on a nearly decade-long hiatus before Season 9, partly because they were working on a Red Dwarf movie, which never happened.
That's all I'm going to say about it, because honestly, I didn't get into Red Dwarf until long after that whole idea was scrapped. So while it's an interesting bit of trivia, I don't know what I would really say about it. But some of the ideas they had for it did end up in the show. I said that because I was getting a lot of comments from people saying, you should talk about the Red Dwarf movie that was never made. And I'm like, what am I going to say about it? Later, so I'll try to mention that stuff whenever it comes up. Anyway, back to Earth. Like I said, it doesn't really address season 8, but it does tell us that 9 years have passed. So apparently the status quo was restored at some point during that time. It's just Lister, Rimmer, Crichton, and Cat on Red Dwarf, and Rimmer is a hologram in a blue uniform, as before season 8. We open on Lister trying not to laugh about something.
It's got to be in the middle, you metal moron.
And then Rimmer. I'm sure most people hate the CG Scudder, but I kind of like how it's able to be so expressive. Scudders are pretty hard to screw up. They're pretty much always adorable. By the way, the placeholder for it was Danny John Jules' hand. Meanwhile, it's mentioned that Crichton is on vacation.
Broom cupboard on V-deck.
Yeah, Red Dwarf is so big that you can go on vacation without leaving the ship.
200 floors. It took me ages to get these.
Anyway, Lister hates tomatoes, but is eating one because
Well, why put myself through?
he's allergic to them.
So down to our last water tank. Only G-deck left.
The ship being low on water is going to come up again.
How does eating tomatoes save water?
It's coming.
The strainer.
Love it.
Ew.
Makes that squish sound, don't you?
Yes, Lister really did all that to mess with Rimmer.
Level.
It's never a fun time for the Scudders when Rimmer wants something done.
Not level.
I think that Scudder is crying. So Lister actually
I will say that the scale on that Scudder seemed off. He looked really big.
did have clothes to iron because he's getting dressed up for a special occasion, which is visiting a memorial of dead former crew members, one of which is Kachansky. Well, shit, this got dark. By the way, the picture of the guy on the left is actually the production designer for Red Dwarf 3 through 8, who died about 7 years before.
Yeah.
I thought I'd read you another book. Sense and Sensibility. Pray God there's some car chases in this one.
Anyway, Lister reads a Jane Austen book to Kachansky's picture, and it's really sweet and sad. Wait, Lister can't be crying that much. Wait, where the hell did Cat drop down from? The glass ceiling?
Right?
It's you. You got a minute?
Rimmer is reading Astronavigation for Idiots. Anyway, poor Cat has been through an ordeal.
You know that big tank on G-deck? He means the water tank. Suddenly,
He's so dramatic.
this massive testicle shoots up out of the water and grabs me by the throat. He means tentacle. I hope so.
Anyway, you can't blame him too much because he nearly got eaten by a giant sea monster of some kind.
So where did it go? It didn't say, and it didn't leave a note. This is so weird. It's not that weird. How did it even hold a pen with its big testicle?
He's right, that would be difficult. Meanwhile, Crichton's back from vacation.
I had
the
fun
sticker
with
on
that.
his suitcase is I heart the broom cupboard.
I can't remember the last time I was so relaxed and utterly carefree.
There's a big monster in the water tank.
It's a disaster. Oh, my back. Oh, I'm one giant tension knot.
I'd hate to see Crichton's reaction to that if he hadn't gone on that relaxing vacation. Anyway, Lister thinks they should kill the creature,
We've got to fritter the critter.
and Rimmer agrees.
We're going to need diving suits, bazookoids, mini grenades, laser lancer, and we're going to need something good for me to read while you're all down there.
Naturally.
Well, I better start packing then. Oh, I already am packed.
But Cat isn't having any of it.
How would you like it if I flushed the entire ship supply of tuna out of an airlock? When we leaving? And don't wear nothing lilac or we'll crash.
Don't worry, I don't think any of you will
Excuse
be wearing
me.
lilac again anytime soon, and most of us are fine with that. Anyway, they take a diving bell.
Gotta
into the
take a
water
dig at
tank.
season 8 whenever
Hard
I
as
can.
It is, I won't comment on what Cat is wearing, but I can comment on Crichton's little water wings. Really, Lister is the only one dressed sensibly, as usual. Anyway, they start hearing noises and
Chaps, bit of an update. There appears to be something bigger than God heading straight for you.
Well, do something. Get us out of here.
Can't.
Thank you.
Too scared.
that's pretty bad even for Rimmer.
You just think about you, don't you? It's always you. It's
You, isn't it?
Anyway, whatever he thought he saw seems to be gone now.
As you were.
Oh, my God.
Turns out it was a giant squid because now it's back.
It's underneath us. Rimmer, pull us up. Slowly.
Meanwhile, Rimmer's got music to listen to. Suddenly, testicles everywhere. Finally, Rimmer notices what's going on and gets them out of there.
A couple people were dumb enough to actually try to correct me there. They're like, actually, that's tentacles. I'm like, did you know we're not paying attention like 5 minutes ago?
Clowns do without me, eh?
Delusional, thy name is Rimmer. Notice that they're all covered in blood and squid ink. And when Lister throws a severed tentacle at Rimmer, he gets covered in it too. That's kind of an important detail that's not going to pay off until the very end.
You're supposed to be mine. This is so nonsense.
I love how there's an awkward silence here, and for like a second you might think that Rimmer feels bad for nearly getting them killed.
Is this about you again?
But of course not.
My heart is still hammering. I don't know how I got through that.
I swear he's gonna be the death of them someday.
Some kind of dimension migrating Leviathan. It's extraordinary.
It's gone.
So anyway, suddenly another hologram appears.
My name is Katerina Bartikovsky. In past, I Red Dwarf science officer.
And she's taking over Rimmer's job.
No longer hologram Arnold Rimmer, who is bit crab.
Look, sir, confirmed.
Yeah, that's not the last time they're gonna poke fun at the scan. They mention here why
We had a really old computer that we named Bitcrap. Oh, so isn't here. Hi, baby boy.
Holly is offline.
Lister left a bath running in the officers' quarters. We didn't find out about it for nearly 9 years. The scutters still haven't finished drying him out.
The real reason is because Norman Lovett had another falling out with the creators, so they just kind of did away with Holly indefinitely, and he hasn't been back as a regular since.
Too interested in my
I don't know why they didn't
shoes.
just bring back Hattie Hayrich, but whatever.
Excuse me. God
a little
damn,
later,
burping
How
odd.
come there are 2 holograms active, both hard light? I thought the ship could only sustain one.
How does Lister pass time?
yeah, she doesn't answer that.
Lovable chonk of a
Iron
cat.
sneezes.
Anyway, she blames Rimmer for Lister's laziness.
What did I do?
You're responsible for his life, but you do nothing. You think only of you. In my country, we have word for people like you.
In my country, we have several.
Hey, Lister's bike makes a return. I don't think we've seen that since season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Katerina seems to know of a way to get Lister back to Earth quickly. And then she's going to deactivate Rimmer.
Then your hard drive will be fired into space, and when safe distance from ship, it will be detonated by nuclear fusion.
You really don't like me, do you?
Rimmer wants to discredit her, so later on he tells Crichton to dig up some dirt on her.
You know what I'm talking about, kid?
Ah, Ms. Bartikovsky.
Yes, Miss Smagging Bartikovsky.
Oh god, Rimmer, you're never going to learn, are you? Once again, Crichton keeps dropping hints, none of which Rimmer picks up on.
What? Good morning, Miss.
As spoken, I bring Lister back to life, restore drive, so can restart human race, yes?
And how, pray tell, do you plan to do that?
The solution is staring you in your stupid fat ferrety face.
Stupid fat ferrety face.
Stupid
So her
fat
plan
ferrety
is to
face.
somehow use the squid's dimension hopping ability to take them to the nearest alternate dimension where Earth is closer? Whatever.
So Lister will travel to a new dimension, bring back a mate, and recreate human race.
Anyway,
you guys
after
could actually
this
see him for a
cool-looking
second.
montage, she has created a dimension hopping machine.
It's working. Now, if calculation's correct,
I love the music here.
good, then now.
I really dig the music in this scene, by the way. Anyway, it creates a portal.
Of course
that
I
just
mentioned
starts
that. I
sucking
didn't remember if I
everything
did, but...
Something is not right.
Meanwhile, the computer tells her that their dimension doesn't exist, which she shrugs off as a glitch of some kind.
Taking us to nearest valid reality. Make no sense.
But she sends Rimmer as a guinea pig to make sure. That was a cool effect. Meanwhile, in the dimension they're about to go to, all of this is playing out on some TV sets at a department store. And yeah, this gets really meta. The next one to get sucked through is Lister. Then Crichton. And finally Kat.
Oh, yeah! Where are we, Crichton?
Well, according to these side scans, we're in a department store in London in the early part of the 21st century.
Red Dwarf. I don't really follow it myself. That side scan thing knows everything, doesn't it? Any bit of exposition.
Yeah, this guy doesn't watch Red Dwarf, but he knows all about the psi scan.
Well, according to these side scans, sir, he's a pompous, know-all, know-nothing idiot called Mike Millington. who incidentally has a very small penis.
This is a fun little jab at fans who take the show too seriously. I don't know if this is what inspired it or not, but it always reminds me of a story Ed By told.
Oh, yeah.
Where he went to his first sci-fi convention and got recognized. He thought the guy was going to tell him how much he liked the show. Instead, he complained about the inconsistency with the time drive in season 7.
You broke the rules of the time drive. It completely ruined my enjoyment of the series, and I've never watched Red Dwarf again. And that was the first thing that somebody said as I walked into the convention.
Aw. How could anyone talk to Ed By like that? He is adorable and must be protected.
Hey, Buzz, the porthole's closed. We can't get back.
I like how Kat said porthole instead of portal. I love the screens conveniently saying they're back.
Is it me or is everyone staring?
They used to have TV shows on Saturday nights where they'd get out all the freaks, make them sing and dance, and then point and laugh at them.
As an American, that immediately makes me think of Saturday Night Live, though I'm sure they had some British show in mind. Now they're looking at DVDs.
Back then, no one knew that the human
Apparently
race
they
were
did,
utterly
according to some of the
incapable
comments I
of
got.
putting the DVDs back in their cases. Videos are just too big to lose.
I love that they just explained why
Ed By
earlier
for
episodes
president.
showed them using VHS tapes in the future. By the way, I love some of these DVDs on the shelf. Die Screaming with Sharp Things in Your Head is a reference to demons and angels.
Die screaming with sharp things in your head.
There's also the cartoon that they were watching in Me Squared. I can't tell if the others are references or not, but I get a kick out of the covers of Space Cop Police Squad that shows a female cop wearing a uniform sporting a boob window.
Sirs, look.
Anyway, they finally noticed what they conveniently missed when they first got there, that Red Dwarf is a TV show in this dimension.
We're characters from a TV series who somehow escaped the TV world into the real world.
Just typical of my luck, isn't it? Just when things start to go right, it turns out that I'm not real.
Rimmer is happy about this.
This is too weird for words. Hey guys, look at this.
I love that visual. People saying too weird for words is kind of a weird little running gag in this. So the Back to
The
Earth
lady with a
DVD
face.
isn't out yet, but Lister finds an empty case on display. In this universe, it takes place after
Oh, there is
season
an
10,
Aliens poster.
which is weird, but I kind of like the idea that they acknowledge that some time has passed and plenty of things have happened off-screen.
Kachansky's dead.
Notice Crichton's reaction to that.
Knowing they will die in the final episode.
Die?
The dwarf is in best Blade Runner tradition.
He's like, the fuck is Blade Runner?
Track down their creators to plead for more life. And their metaphysical odyssey begins. All my life I've wanted to go on a metaphysical odyssey.
And this is the part that Kat is happy about. This isn't a terribly important conversation plot-wise, but it's hilarious. Lister just came back from the bathroom and there was no toilet paper, so he figures that people just hadn't started using it yet.
Yeah, but you've got to wash yourself in one of the sinks and use the air machine to dry your bum. And those air machines are really high. You're holding your cheeks apart, jumping up and down, trying to catch some breeze.
Thanks for the mental image. Also notice how this display room is set up. They're basically doing a bunk scene.
Also, you know what I don't think I caught, but somebody pointed out in the comments, the TV screen has an image of Holly on it. That's pretty clever.
There's even a toy guitar. Anyway, Kat and Crichton were off trying to sell Crichton's head to get some money, but it didn't work out. So they root through some couches and find some, along with a bunch of other junk.
I'm expecting to pull out Glenn Miller or Sugar any time.
I like that Rimmer discreetly takes the condoms. But Kat leaves something behind. Some little gold origami.
Why would Rimmer
thing.
need condoms?
So now they're on their way to a sci-fi store.
This is too weird for words.
Maybe you can still
I
catch
want
diseases.
that little Starbug toy. And wow, there's some foreshadowing.
I was just wondering if you could help us. We're trying to find the guys involved in the making of a TV series called Red Dwarf.
Anyway, they tell their story to the guy behind the counter, and he believes it.
Dimension skid, was it? Happens a lot this time of year.
I never got around to mentioning it in the video, but I don't know if it's just me. This guy looks a little bit like Phalus to me. I don't know. It might just be me, but...
Gotta be so careful.
Turns out he knows a guy.
El Presidente of the Red Dwarf fan club. Nothing that guy doesn't know about the small
Hi, Alistair.
room
That's
bomb.
okay.
Nice little Ace Rimmer quote there.
Let's get this tea chest up into the stars and back to the Small Rouge one, eh?
Bit of a fanatic. Changed his name
Small
to Red
Rouge one.
Dwarf. Got an H tattooed on his head.
I love Rimmer's reaction to that. Like, who would want that?
I've got, standing in my shop, the real, actual crew from Red Dwarf.
They all kind of like being recognized now. Lister in particular.
British Phaelus, there you go, he's
Trying to
British
find out
Phaelus.
How many shows they've got left? Exactly. Need some numbers. Know you've got them.
But that turned out to be a waste of time.
Space Corps Directive 596.
596?
Admit it, if you got to see Rimmer misquote a Space Corps directive, you'd react the same way.
Space Corps super chimps performing acts of indecency in zero gravity will lose all banana privileges.
Cruise files are for the eyes of the captain only.
What's that?
That's Dave Lister's bath from season 9. Best season ever, if you ask me.
So much meta.
Remember when Crichton ran in and told you that Kachansky had been sucked out of an airlock?
There goes Crichton again. Yeah, it turns out that Lister only knew what happened to Kachansky because Crichton told
Is
him.
there a British
Anyway,
Alison
Rimmer
Pregler?
finds some little prop. Crichton sees a name on it, which Lister remembers seeing somewhere.
Crichton, scan the photo and beam it onto that TV.
The TV was showing that one scene from Polymorph.
Uncrop.
Uncrop. So yeah, here's a lengthy parody of that thing they do in crime dramas, you know the thing. It goes to seriously ridiculous levels, including zooming in on a drop of water to get its reflection.
Zoom 260.
Sir, wouldn't it have been quicker to look him up in the phone book?
Anyway, they now have the address of someone who might have some info. Now they just have to figure out how to get there.
Hollyhock Drive.
The guy
British
behind the
Linkara.
counter mentioned several things from previous episodes, but they all involve something that would be on Red Dwarf. Then there's this little gem.
Been there.
Oh, that's not us, sir. No, we don't do that, sir.
I love Crichton's reaction. Anyway,
That's not us, sir. No, we don't do that, sir.
they end up taking the bus. Crichton is about as well disguised as the Trix rabbit. Meanwhile, Kat leaves behind another origami. From this angle, it's easier to tell it's a squid.
Where's first class?
It's all first class, man.
Oh yeah, you do have British Trump, unfortunately.
Anyway, Lister is looking at a magazine and comes across an article about the actress who played Kachansky.
She's alive in this dimension, isn't she?
You're Dave Lister, aren't you?
What the hell? These kids aren't old enough to be watching Red Dwarf.
What's it like?
Yes, I know you've all been watching Red Dwarf since you were born. Shut up.
I guess it is kind of funny that Red Dwarf is on BBC Dave.
Even though you're disgusting, sometimes you're quite brave.
Yeah, that's Lister in a nutshell.
Are you sad about Kachansky?
Anyway, these kids don't think that Kachansky is really dead.
You're a mess, falling apart, drinking, being deaf. So she took a blue midget and liked it.
Why would Crichton lie to me?
He was only trying to save your feelings.
What do you mean she was still alive?
So yeah, they've given Lister something to hope for.
Tell Rimmer he's a smegger.
Later they get off the bus and... oh, there's Katerina.
Erase me? I thought it was murder to kill a hologram.
Morally, ethically, hologram killing fine.
And this is amazing.
Fair enough.
Go, Rimmer.
Come on, we haven't got all day.
She didn't see that coming, did she? I did.
We all did, Criters.
Man, this is too weird for words.
Maker of latex masks for the TV industry, specialising in noses. Didn't know I could read Chinese.
Anyway, they track down the guy who makes noses in a lab? Pretty sure this is a Blade Runner reference. Anyway, he's also wearing Kat's fur coat from earlier, and Kat's not happy about it.
I steal many things so on eBay.
How many episodes have we got left? Is it true we're going to die?
I don't know that stuff. Who don't know?
I don't know when Kat became the muscle of the group, but I kind of like it.
Big boss. He know everything.
Anyway, it turns out that he stole a car from the Red Dwarf fan club president.
You want to borrow?
I love that little Starbug keychain. That's nothing, though.
You can't be serious.
So, there's Carbug. I love the look on Lister's face. Like, the absurdity of the situation is not lost on him.
He just can't believe it.
This is another tune I like. It's very upbeat and just fits the mood. Apparently, the scene was horrible to film.
Female
the car
gaze?
is
I
so
must have missed
small, They had
something.
to remove the seats to fit all four of them in there. So Craig and Danny are sitting on crates while Robert and Chris crouch behind them.
Sorry about my language.
And poor Danny kept messing up his lines.
I'm sorry, one more. Cabin crew.
As he is wont to
I
do.
love how they're acting like they're landing the real Starbug.
Handbrake engaging.
Well done, everyone.
Pretty sure those smiles are genuine. They were so glad to be done filming in that car. So they're looking for Craig Charles now, and apparently they're on the set of his other show, which I've never watched.
Is it just like where I grew up, except there's less burning cars?
Anyway, Crichton starts
Less
talking
burning
to
cars.
Perhaps it's overheated.
and someone spots them.
Let me do the talking, sir. I've been studying the dialect. Hiya, Chuck, pal, love, sir.
Took me a little while to figure out that they were making fun of British slang.
What a load of numpties.
Get your kecks on, lads. We're sorted.
Quality. Mint.
I was like, what language is this?
Good job, chaps. We were so authentic, it was frightening.
So anyway, the guy who saw them earlier
Good
turns
job,
out to
chaps.
be a friend of Craig Charles, or maybe he's on the show with him. I don't know, and I don't care. So he tells them all about
This feels like Beastmaster 2, except it's actually good.
How many have you had? Well, I've had a couple, but listen, I've just seen you.
And here they come.
Hi, guys. We really need your help.
There's a mind fuck.
You're the only one that can help us, man. I've heard about these. Go flashbacks.
You see, sir, we're from an alternate dimension.
To be more precise, northern slang.
It turns out that there is one more episode of Red Dwarf left in the series before they get killed off and the show ends, and they're currently in that episode. There's another origami squid.
We've got to speak to our creator.
And I've got to get back to the Priory. The guy's a wreck. And pretend to be somebody else all day. That's no way to make a living. Smeghead.
Take that, me. So they make their way to the home of the creator of Red Dwarf.
British soap opera? That seems like an
This
odd...
must be that Grant Naylor guy I've heard so much about. It's a joke. Stop the angry typing. And wow, he's organized.
Seems like an odd choice for Craig Charles is what I was going to say.
Oh god, it's the mini Rimmers from the Rimmer Experience.
Visitors, sir.
And they're terrifying.
They are so creepy.
The series cancellation sequence can't be revised once it's established.
Tell that to Futurama.
I grew weary of you.
Aww.
You have all burned so very, very brightly, and for so very, very long. Just like the Red Dwarf star itself. Nothing lasts forever.
So they're getting kind of desperate now, and they start making
Hi, Adam.
suggestions for shows that their characters could continue to be in.
What about a show about cats? That'd never work.
Yeah, who would want to watch Cats?
That was a Madu video.
Sad and beautiful.
Are we talking about the same show? Actually, I have some theories about that I'll talk about in the end.
The shooting script.
So he tells them about their death scene where he essentially chases them down and shoots them with lots of shattering glass. That must have been fun to film. Not much margin for error.
For the record, I do, I did this in such a way where I went ahead and just kind of talked about the show without ever having seen Blade Runner. But then I managed to watch Blade Runner before doing the bit at the end. So I do talk about Blade Runner later on.
Rimmer really should have disappeared, leaving just the light be, though. Then again, this is in the writer's head. Maybe he thought it was more dramatic this way.
Sad and beautiful. Gentlemen, time to die.
Wow, go Cat. Anyway, now they want to force him to write a better ending.
That was kind of badass.
I get a girlfriend who's gorgeous and crazy about me. And before you even think of it, after we bonked each other senseless, she doesn't turn out to be my long-lost sister.
I feel like that was somewhat inspired by what happened to him in Only the Good.
But I'm your sister.
How did you know I was thinking that?
Because I know how you think.
But the creator still has the upper hand.
You can never win. Accept it and die well.
Lister is done with this shit.
If you tell me, you moron, you'll cease to exist. Been dead for ages, man. I was never alone. I just didn't realize it. Now I want more life.
I'm not sure how that killed him, but okay. And yet, they still exist.
How can I kill him? That's not me. I don't kill people.
You killed him because he made you kill him, sir.
It turns out that the scene where he shoots them wasn't really part of the script.
He killed us by getting us to kill him.
There's a great outtake of this scene because nearly everyone stays in character after the flub.
We killed him by killing ourselves. That's not quite right. I knew I wouldn't get that line right, sir.
But you did very well.
Even Danny, and he almost never does.
I didn't know the difference. I thought you were doing good.
I thought he was doing good.
He's right. In fact, I don't think I'll feel too well.
Mr. Stark? Anyway, rather than looking at the script to see how it's supposed to end, Lister rips out those pages and burns them so they can write their own ending.
Of course, what's written happens.
As long as we've got this, we control the world. We can do whatever we want.
So Lister starts playing with it.
So the rest of our loaves can be one giant hedonistic wash fulfillment.
Typo, sorry guys.
You really
really think you could write your way out of this?
Hey, witch me, baby, just witch me. You get to hunt me stupid, sir.
Hunt me stupid. Wasn't this a Futurama episode?
No, I am leaving Earth for no reason.
Anyway, after Lister is done making everyone do silly things.
All right. Next step. Happy ending.
It turns out he wasn't in control after all.
Or maybe it's not the typewriter that's controlling our world. Maybe it's something else.
As Crichton says that,
Hi, Indra.
Kat has made another origami squid, and he finally wonders why he's been doing it.
There's something inside. Blow.
Are you ready for this twist?
Looks like a squid.
That's something else.
Blew my fucking mind first time I saw
Our
this.
combined subconscious.
Like the time we were ambushed by the despair squid?
This entire three-part series has been a giant callback to Back to Reality, including the title.
Are you saying the creature in the water tank, the one that Ink does, was another despair squid? Because I don't feel despair.
They hear footsteps from the other room, and Kat identifies it as Kachansky. And again, there goes Crichton.
I can get it back again.
But in the real world, sir, you'll be dying. This isn't real.
It'll feel real.
Not in your heart.
This is the only chance I've got of getting it back again.
Okay, Crichton, time to spill it.
Miss Kachansky's not dead, sir.
Those kids were right.
I was trying to protect you.
Now Lister has to choose between a reality that may or may not have Kachansky in it, or this pretend world where she is close by and will love him unconditionally. As the rest of them disappear as they come out of the hallucination, Lister decides to stay.
That's very poignant.
So yes, everything that happened since right after they got out of the tank was a hallucination.
Our natural defenses fought back. Our previous encounter with the creature must have strengthened our antibodies.
Which gave us the option to choose between realities.
Speaking of...
Such a mind
Since
fuck.
you're undecided about which reality you wish to live in.
I'm mulling it over.
In your dreams, did you kiss me?
I never wanted to wake up.
His favorite hairstyle is coming up.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna stay. But then...
I have to leave and get you back.
You'll never get me. I'm way out of your league.
I'm pretty cool. I don't take any smeg. And even though I'm disgusting, sometimes I can be quite brave.
Despite being a one-episode hallucination, Kachansky is still better written than she was in most of Season 8. So yeah, Lister has decided to wake up and go back home.
It's not even the real Kachansky either.
A little later, Crichton figures out what kind of squid they were dealing with.
Analysis of the creature, sir, suggests it's a female.
Turns out the male's ink causes despair, but the female's is the opposite and causes elation.
What kind of crazy defense mechanism is that?
Well, it's an ingenious one, sir, because it
Hi,
means
Alistair.
you stop attacking him.
Oh, I think I saw you
So how
earlier.
did she get on board the ship?
I kind of brought her.
Cat.
Years ago, from that ocean planet. I'm gonna eat you, little fishy, 'cause I like little fish. Then she escaped. Boy, has she grown.
Literally, this whole thing was his fault. Rather than killing this squid like they did with the male one, they decide to let her go.
I'm thinking we drop her off at the nearest ocean moon. Make some happy sea life.
Yeah, I can see how they'd be a lot less mad at this one. She didn't cause
Land
them to
runner.
commit suicide.
What's going to happen to everybody in the reality we left?
They'll continue to exist as a consequence of us creating them in our hallucinations, sir.
But those sad suckers will live out the rest of their lives convinced they're the real ones and we're characters from a TV show.
Zing.
Take that,
So
audience.
went back to Earth.
Sorry, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back.
Jesus. Let me get some water really quick. All right. Chair watch. All right. Unpopular opinion maybe, but I love Back to Earth. Of course, I could be a bit biased, since these were the first episodes I watched in their entirety and basically solidified my interest in this show. As I mentioned in Sirens, before I got into Red Dwarf myself, I saw bits and pieces of it while my husband was watching it. As it turns out, and by sheer luck, I'd seen most of Back to Reality, so despite not quite being a Red Dwarf fan yet when I first saw Back to Earth, I still understood the twist at the end and thought it was pretty brilliant.
I was extremely lucky.
What it comes down to is that Back to Earth is probably the closest we'll ever get to a Red Dwarf movie. If you put all 3 episodes together, it's about an hour and 10 minutes. Okay, that's very short for a movie, but it's not unheard of. And it just has a very cinematic feel. Despite the tight budget it had, the effects were pretty damn good, at least for Red Dwarf standards, and it's just visually impressive overall. I also liked a lot of the jokes, even the pop culture stuff, like humans being physically incapable of putting CDs away. And I like the jab at fans who are overly critical. That's easy to understand just from being a member of other fandoms. And the whole bit about Lister using the bathroom, I loved all of that. Also Carbug, that was fun. It also handles drama really well. And can we talk about Craig Charles' acting in this? I mean, he cries in one scene, and he goes from looking absolutely miserable to melancholy to hopeful to amused. I'm just super impressed at how much range he shows in this and how believable it is. The only criticisms I can think of is that the first episode moves kind of slowly, and some of the jokes can run on a little too long, but that's about it. I guess Katarina is a good character as card-carrying villains go, but my favorite part is seeing the outtakes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the actress is super apologetic when she messes up a line, and it's hilarious.
I'm sorry, I hate myself. We'll bring Lister back to life. Everything's fine, don't worry.
I also like how she grabs Chris Berry by the arm and walks him back every time. I can't really criticize since I'd probably grab Chris Berry every time I got a chance to, but it's still funny. One thing that tickles me is that a lot of what they describe in the season that happened off screen and how the creator talks doesn't really sound like the Red Dwarf we know. It comes across more like a sci-fi drama than a sci-fi comedy. I mean, the idea of anyone dying a beautiful and tragic death on this show is that just doesn't happen on Red Dwarf. So for a while I kind of theorized that the dimension shown in Back to Earth isn't our dimension, and the Red Dwarf they talk about was an entirely different kind of show. But again, they do make references to our Red Dwarf, like Rimmer getting Space Corps directives wrong, and they mention the running gag in the series about Rimmer's blow-up doll. Not to mention that they literally show a clip from Polymorph. So the theory that Red Dwarf is different in this dimension doesn't quite work. Maybe the fictional season 9
I knew you were going to
talked
quote
about
that
as a
flash.
broad duck and more dramatic than usual. Of course, it's a moot point since all of that ends up being a hallucination anyway, but it's still kind of fun to theorize, even if it's all hypothetical. Of course, there are some things I missed. After watching the Making Of documentary, I am aware that there are cameos from well-known British actors, but since I don't watch much British TV, that's kind of lost on me. Fortunately, they aren't all nudge-nudge wink-wink about it, so it's not a distraction or anything. You either catch it or you don't, no biggie. Another thing is, believe it or not, I'd never seen Blade Runner. Though they do manage to throw in a couple of mentions of Blade Runner.
That's not entirely true. I'm pretty sure I watched Blade Runner with my mom once on cable, like decades ago, but I didn't remember it at all. So it's close. You know, me saying I've never seen it before was close enough because I didn't remember anything about it.
So anyone who hasn't seen the movie could kind of mentally fill in the gaps. Oh, the seemingly random thing must be a Blade Runner reference. Okay. So again, not really a distraction for me. But it didn't seem right to make this video without having seen Blade Runner, but I wanted to focus on the references to earlier Red Dwarf episodes, so I kind of split the difference and watched Blade Runner before getting to this recap. So Blade Runner involves a synthetic human asking his creator for more life, with similar dialogue, and it ends up with the creator being killed, though it's a bit more gory. There's a guy named Chu who creates eyes in his shop called Eye World. There's also an interrogation where his coat gets taken away, exposing him to the cold, again with similar dialogue. There's a chase scene through Chinatown that ends with the victim being shot and falling through several huge panes of glass. Red Dwarf didn't actually exaggerate that as much as I assumed.
Yeah, I was really surprised about that.
Harrison Ford's character does the whole zoom and enhance thing. Not quite as insane.
Oh, that
as
is the
Red
barkeep
Dwarf,
from The Shining,
though
isn't
it? Does
it?
involve getting an image from a reflection. He also finds a clue in a bathtub that looks like a scale, and it turns out that it was synthetic and had a microscopic serial number on it. There's also a well-dressed man who has a habit of making origami figures and leaving them behind. Other than that, both looks sported by Kachansky are based on how Sean Young's character looks. Now I know where that awful hairstyle came from. And Crichton's disguise has glasses with big octagon-shaped lenses like the creator in Blade Runner. There's also a guy who makes little robots, which I'm pretty sure the Little Rimmers are referencing.
So many references.
I seem to recall SF Debris saying that Back to Earth would be confusing or distracting to anyone who hadn't seen Blade Runner, and for anyone who had seen it, it'd be too repetitive. Well, like I said, as far as my own experience, I disagree with the first point. I didn't mind not getting those references. As for the second, well, I'll never be able to experience seeing Blade Runner before Back to Earth, so I can't really say if I would have had a bad
Big hair is
reaction
never
to it,
awful.
but
No,
I
it certainly
kind of
can
see
be.
how that'd be an issue. I guess that's about all I have to say about Back to Earth. Again, I might be biased since it was basically my gateway drug to Red Dwarf, so I pretty much have to like it if only for that. And
Gateway
again, I
drug
wasn't
to Red
familiar
Dwarf.
enough with Blade Runner to be bothered by how they handled the references. Either way, I love it. And hopefully this will be the last multi-part Red Dwarf episode I'll have to cover. Next up is Season 10 with Trojan. See you then.
There's big hair and there's teased out rat's nest. Yeah. Also, it was parted in the middle, which I didn't think looked good. Oh no. Hi, Jane. I didn't mean to let the credits run there. I was distracted.
But it's essential that we keep all this in perspective. We're not real. What are we gonna do? There, I think that's pretty much put it in perspective, don't you, sirs?
All right. Now, let me skip past this opening. I normally don't, but... Okay. Let me get caught up on the chat. I should just barely have to... Yeah, 26 minutes. Oof. Yeah, I should just have time to watch that. And be able to finish by 4. Oh my god, where did I leave off at on the chat? There we go. David Tennant said his performance of Hamlet was interrupted by a phone just as he was saying the rest is silence. You gotta appreciate the timing. To me, Paranormal Activity is what other people claim The Blair Witch is, really boring and long, drawn-out, pointless scenes that are meant to be scary for reasons I can't understand. I should give it a chance sometime. The Red Dwarf movie, well, they tried to make it. I can't think of anything else to say about it, as we never learned what it was going to be about. I mean, I think there's, like, character designs and stuff like that out there, but yeah. It's like talking about the rest of the Snyderverse. What's there to say but in development ideas that could have easily been abandoned by the time we got into production? Yeah, exactly. And, it might be different if I was, a Red Dwarf fan back then. I might have absorbed all the stuff I'd been hearing about it, but I just don't feel like researching it,
My headcanon, Rimmer saved the crew but died in the process, but both the original Holly and the new Holly tried to bring him back at the same time, which ended up with a backup of both Rimmers. Release the Kraken. I have a copy called Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters. It's all connected. That's pretty funny. In a previous stream, it was asked what is the saddest moment in the series. And for me, the scenes with depressed Lister are that for me. Yeah, good point. I think I remember that too, and I couldn't really think of anything at the time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and it's funny to think that he wasn't even really an actor when he first took the role. I think he started off as like a musician or something. Why was Rimmer relying on a Scudder to hang his pictures? He wouldn't have to do that since Series 5. Good point. Probably it was an excuse to have the Scudders in there, but I could see Rimmer, still making them do menial tasks just because he likes to be in control of other people or whatever. Because Rimmer loves the master and servant relationship, yeah. There you go. Also, SF Debris kept referring to Rimmer in this special as Scott Bakula because his uniform looks like Enterprise-era Starfleet. Oh, yeah, I guess it does look a little bit like that. I didn't really watch Enterprise, so I never made the connection. Speaking of Soul, I don't know where he is. He might be curled up on the couch, or he might have gone back upstairs. Rimmer sounds really surprised that she doesn't like him. You'd think he's used to that by now. Could be that he just, is surprised at how much she hates him. Maybe. The actress married into the British royal family. I think somebody told me that. Not that the royal family's probably going to last much longer. Yeah, possibly. Actually, the human race was already recreated by the nanobots. Yeah, I think they tried to. They basically wanted to retcon season 8. Ed Bye for president. Unfortunately, I don't think we can elect a British person as president. I forget the rules for being president, but you have to have lived here for X amount of years, I think, lived in the US. So, Arnold Schwarzenegger couldn't be president even though he's lived in America for a while. I guess not long enough. Or maybe you have to be born here. I don't remember. I think they were referring to reality shows like Pop Idol. Yeah, that probably was it. That sounds closer to what he was saying. But yeah, because he said Saturday Night Live, it made me think of Saturday Night Live. Boob window is a phrase that needs to be used more often. I mean, it is a thing. Trying to think off the top of my head of comic book characters with boob windows. What was her name? Power Girl has a boob window. I remember the amount of snarky comments you got because you weren't familiar with Coronation Street. Yeah. One guy thought I was I actually hated it because I had kind of a snarky tone when I said, I think this guy is from Craig Charles's other show. I don't know it. I don't care. I don't remember why I said it that way. I guess looking back, I can kind of see how I sounded snarky, but it was more because I thought people in the comments section were going to try to explain it to me. Maybe Rimmer needed the condoms as temporary puncture repair kit patches. Also, hi, Nab. I didn't see you before. Nab Dank, that's a name. I'm glad Odie's happy. He's just hiding from my dad so he doesn't have to have his injection. Aw. Now we're up to the British phallus discussion. You guys had a field day with that. I try to kind of like glance at the comments while I'm watching the video, even if I don't react right away. I just noticed the store is called They Walk Among Us, which is the name of a classic sci-fi movie as a reference to the comic game sci-fi chain Forbidden Planet. Oh, that I knew that was a reference to something, but I forgot what. Excuse me. Jeez, another burp. Imagine there was a parallel universe where all the Channel Awesome nationalities got swapped. Neither of us would want to claim the Walker brothers, however. Censorship isn't as strict in the UK. Well, it's not about censorship so much as like, you kind of like some parents are kind of careful about what they let their kids watch. It's not really censorship per se. I was thinking more along those lines. I don't know if I'd want my kids to watch Red Dwarf. Depends on their age. So is Film Brain American then? I seem to recall Film Brain actually... I feel like I remember him doing an American accent at some point, and he did it pretty well, but... I think Mike J does as well, so maybe I'm just thinking of Mike J. Is Film Brain American then? He would be called Movie Brain. Sounds a little too much like Movie Bob. I wonder if Movie Bob would be British, and would he still talk as fast? No, Film Brain is Kiwi and Suede is Australian. It's kind of like that one Family Guy episode where everyone was British except Stewie. That's funny. Now I'm up to where people are talking about Coronation Street. British, it's a terrible language. Sorry, I'm skimming over the comments here. Some of them are like I already reacted to and such. I missed the vids when Miri was a kitten. She was so sweet. Yeah, Miri's still adorable. I think she's my favorite of the three cats. She kind of reminds me of Tara. I love the way Lister makes Rimmer whack his groin against the table. I thought that was maybe a little too mean. Not if he just did it a couple times, but he did it like 50 times. It got kind of a bit much after a while. Basically, every city in the UK has its own accent. Plus some, like London, have multiple accents, so there's so many to make fun of. Mr. Lister, I don't feel so good. I love story with this kind of meta-narrative. Yeah, it's really fun when done well. Dina's favorite hairstyle is coming up. I didn't really have a reaction to Kat's pink outfit yet. I kind of saved that for the cat video that's coming up. I specifically said I'm going to try not to say anything about the outfit right now or something like that. A film done on Blade Runner would be great. The thing is, I've only seen Blade Runner once, so I'm not really too inspired to cover it. The film den is usually for movies I've loved for years. So are we going to get a follow-up where it turns out Lister has a long-lost daughter with Kachansky? It is saying something that make-believe Kachansky was a lot more tolerable than real Kachansky. This counts as a cat story? Not really. Literally, this entire episode was Cat's fault. How many episodes can that describe? I can't think of too many, honestly. Sorry, bumped the mic. Okay, let's talk food. At the point where I was away. Special Iron had to bring up ponies. That was a point where I came back. Honestly interested in hearing Lee's opinions on the show. I don't know if he really has them other than he likes it. Closest we'll get to a Red Dwarf movie until Promised Land. Yeah. Obviously, Promised Land had not come out yet when I made this video. At the time, I thought it was going to be the closest thing we ever got to a Red Dwarf movie. Promised Land did feel like more of one, though. Even had like a movie poster. Carbug can traverse space and sometimes time. Dignified death plus Red Dwarf equals Winnie the Pooh declines the blindfold. Yeah. Ace Rimmer is literally the only character who got a dignified death. Good point. I remember Chris got quite a few female fans because of the Terraform episode. Yeah. That reminds me, I've been playing the Resident Evil 4 remake demo, and the villagers can now kill you by sticking their thumbs in your eyes. Oh my god. I wonder what other awful ways of meeting your maker are there. The remakes do tend to be more gory, don't they? What was the point of all the smashing glass? Sure, it looked cool, but it can't have been fun to film. Yeah, and it's so... like, there's so much of it. I really thought Red Dwarf, like, highly exaggerated it, but it really didn't by that much. The little Rimmers were funny and creepy. Yeah, they were. Cheerily, now, that's how everyone wore their hair back then. Oh, that was fun. I love that Cheerily as a teenager was like in the 80s. Looking forward to season 10. Yeah, me too. I mean, my hair is parted in the middle, but my hair is straight. It's not sticking out equally on both sides. I'm just saying I don't think that's a good look. Like, even Sean Young's character, it was parted kind of more on the side. Also, my hair isn't parted quite in the middle. It's kind of off to the side as well. Fun episode overall, yeah. I like Back to Earth. Oh, thanks for stopping by, George. Again, probably missed him by a long shot, but... My read is that Rimmer was shocked that the incoming officer wasn't on his side of bringing more organization authoritarianism to the crew. That's a good point. President must be a natural-born U.S. citizen. Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was that or if they had to have lived in America for X number of years or something. Well, Ed Bye is married to an American actress. Would that count? I don't think so. I didn't know that, though. That's interesting. Is it anyone noteworthy? There was controversy when John McCain ran for president because he was born in Panama on a U.S. military base. Oh, I didn't remember that. Coronation Street deserves a bit of derision. It's basically a bog standard soap opera running since the 1960s about how the poors are real people with struggles, actually. Saying, I don't know, I don't care, is just asking for people to make snarky comments. It kind of is. I can admit that. I don't think I meant for it to come out in quite that tone. I'd said it's something like, I don't know and I don't care. Anyway. Yeah, because of all the comments you got in Can't Smeg of people explaining the show to you in depth in spite of the fact that you already got it in the vid, yeah. I had heartburn? I don't even remember. Like, if you like Coronation Street, more power to you, but it's like being a diehard fan of General Hospital or Days of Our Lives. I remember Spoonie doing the commentary with some of the other cast for one of the annual collabs, and he introduced Film Brain using his accent. Oh yeah, we also have Film Brian. Is that where Film Brian came from? How could you skim our comments? Because there's so fucking many of them, and a lot of them aren't that comment-worthy. So to understand Coronation Street, I have to start from the 1960s. Got it. We already have a follow-up. Lister has a son with Kachansky himself. Don't think about it too hard. I'd say that would make a Blade Runner video better. It's an incredibly well-dissected film that everyone has discussed to death, so it'd be interesting to get a fresh opinion on it. That's just not how I do film dens, really. Lee's video on Red Dwarf, it's a thing I enjoy. Yeah, pretty much. Hi, Daryl. I really didn't like Back to Earth just because of the Coronation Street crossover and stuff, but it's fine looking back, just not my favorite. That's fair. Oh yeah, they are gorier. One of the first things you get to see in the Resident Evil 4 demo is a partially dismembered rabbit with its squiggly bits hanging out. Ugh. Yeah, long hair can be a pain. That's why I put it up so often. But when I have short hair, I tend to miss having long hair, so I've had long hair most of my life, so it's just kind of what I'm used to. Ruby Wax? She was the newscaster in Time Slides. Oh, yeah, somebody mentioned that. I don't think I've heard of her outside of that episode, though. He's married to Ruby Wax, an American actor / comedian who's lived over here for years. She played the hostess of Lifestyles that yeah, someone else mentioned that. Okay, Tiresias, thanks for stopping by. Again, you're probably gone. Smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast. Coronation Street is the longest running soap opera ever, well over 1,000 episodes. Oh my god. Well, they tend to run long. Dina's got plans for a Blair Witch Project film den, I think, anyway. It's one of those movies I'd like to cover at some point. I could review Coronation Street as a film den. I don't think so. That's the first thing I thought about Tomb Raider 2013. Where the heck did all this gore come from? Alright, last video. More cat, yay.
Once again, let's just go right into season 8.
I still have that top. I wear it to work sometimes.
There's an invitation that will not cause a stampede.
I love how in Back in the Red Part 1, they remembered what Kat was wearing at the end of Nanarchy, but not only is Kachansky wearing a totally different outfit, not even a similar style as before, she looks like she's just one of the guys now, but she's suddenly blonde.
Just moved from blue alert to red alert, sir.
Let's go all the way up to brown alert.
And there's another brown trousers comment.
But there's no such thing as brown alert, sir.
You won't be saying that in a minute. And don't say I didn't alert you.
That one's pretty good.
How long have we got? About the time it takes to read a stop sign, sir.
That's okay then. I don't always get through those in one sitting.
And another cat is dumb gag.
It's not like getting close to that gigantic trouser press.
Freshly laundered and wrinkle-free. I always prayed I'd go out like that.
When Starbug crashes, poor Cat nearly doesn't make it out.
Okay,
Crichton
Sticks,
has
thanks
to
for
help
stopping
him out of
by.
his seat, and he seems to be suffering smoke inhalation. I guess this is to set up the metabase scene later. It's weird how they never talk directly to Cat in this scene.
You don't believe this one's human?
They just treat him like some specimen, and he doesn't even seem to notice or care.
6 nipples? I wonder what the female of the species is like.
Pretty easy to please in bed.
The rest of the fandom is all, oh my god, identity within is canon. And I'm just over here like, that's cute. Cat's trying to impress the female doctor. Seriously, look at this look he gives her.
This guy's intestines look better than my quarters.
They point out that his organs are color coordinated, his heartbeat sounds musical. I don't take any of that seriously, I just consider it a little funny.
What's the point of disguise if you wear it under your normal outfit?
You think I'm gonna wear this on the outside?
In part 2,
I've watched a lot of TV shows, and we all huddle together like this.
I referenced this when I covered Hellraiser, Hell World.
I love how Cat takes charge for this one bit.
See how good that look?
He has seen a lot of TV after all.
I got a great idea for a new disguise.
Oh no.
You know, I think I finally realized what ruined Dwayne Dibley for me. This fucking scene where it's Cat's idea to dress up as him and he's thrilled about it. The entire point of Dwayne Dibley is that he's supposed to be the opposite of how Cat wants to be.
Superficial is my middle name.
Cat is supposed to hate becoming him. I mean, Emo Hawk was kind of blatantly fan-servicey about having Cat and Rimmer become Dwayne Dibley and Ace respectively, but at least it remembered those characters hate their alter egos. It was something that was forced on them. I mean, I'm not too bothered about the disguises as a bit of fan service, but it would have made more sense if it was Lister's idea and Cat had to be talked into it. Here it just comes across like the creators don't care how it happens as long as they get this fan service in. As of season 12, this is the last time Dwayne Dibley has
They all look cute doing that.
So since I'm basically done talking
So I
about
appreciate it for that at least.
future, have this random picture I stumbled on of Paul McCartney using a giant toothbrush because I didn't know where else to fit it in. Remind you of anyone? But how can we...
Yeah, that came up when I did a Google search on, I think I did a Google search on Dwayne Dibley, and that came up because someone posted it and commented that it reminded them of him.
Be sure. Why do we care? Nothing makes any sense no matter where we are.
Okay, one of the issues I have with season 8 is that Cat is generally wasted. But he does have a few really standout scenes throughout. This scene in part 3 is easily the best. So they need clearance from the ground controller to be able to fly Blue Midget. Turns out she's really cute.
Wow!
So Cat tries to get that clearance by first flirting with her.
I'm smooth. Smooth.
The very fact that she's even receptive to it should have clued everyone in that none of this was really happening. Then he does a serenade of sorts where he not only dances, but he seems to have a sudden strange power over machinery with how he gets the Blue Midgets to dance with him. It starts off a little slow, but it picks up shortly after the costume change. Here we go. Like tongue-tied, I almost can't believe this scene exists. It makes me such a happy fangirl. You'd think he'd get into trouble for breaking all that glass.
Saturday?
I am now.
Cat definitely earned that cigar. I guess now I have to add smoke rings to the list.
Along with dancing, juggling, roller skating, singing, riding a unicycle, gun twirling, and chopping vegetables like a pro.
None of that was real? You mean after all this, I still haven't got a date? Another year when I have to send a Valentine card to my hand.
See, either Cat has had sex recently or he hasn't. He's not Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat.
Clue around somewhere. Something like a trap door or exit.
Here's another cat as dumb gag.
I got it! There's a button here with E11T on it.
They know they're in a simulation now because suddenly Cat is the one catching all the clues.
E-X-I-T. Exit.
Press it.
We'll just skip over the claymation bit. God, it's unfunny.
It is.
Come with us. Are you out of your mind? That's so dumb. I should have
The
said
list
it.
keeps
Even
growing.
Cat knows he's dumb.
Why would I want to take off with you lot? What have you got to offer?
I'm so gorgeous. There's a 6-month waiting list for birds to suddenly appear every time I'm near.
How long has Cat been holding on to that phrase, I wonder? Again, while Lister is trying to convince Rimmer to join them, Cat is just kind of silently reacting in the background.
He's in. Let's celebrate. I'll crack open a bottle of cyanide.
Power
Back
sauce.
in Blue Midget, there's a different ground controller.
You're the ground controller? Reality sucks.
Cat isn't so interested in this one, so they just take off. I love this bit.
Einstein. Wasn't he the dude who discovered America?
Cat knows he's heard the name Einstein before, but can't quite place it.
Einstein discovered the theory of relativity.
Where did he discover it? Was it fossilized and stuff?
Once again, Cat reactions.
That's so cute.
You dying is the last thing we want, bud. Especially me. Hell, I'll probably have to help dig the hole.
In Cassandra, Cat has a few funny lines, and that's about it.
Whose bra? 181? Probably your own.
All the hairs on the back of my neck are standing on end.
Mine too. Not just the ones on the back of my neck. It's one up, all up.
Not quite a brown trousers comment, but definitely TMI.
It's the first time we've been in a situation like
One
this,
up,
is it?
all up.
Hell no. We've drunk coffee thousands of times.
Future echoes, remember?
Future echoes. All right.
Wow, even Cat remembers Future Echoes. He does do something hilariously stupid, though.
In other words, if I... It's not fault. You can't die.
Yeah, but I still feel pain, you smegger.
Are you asking me to betray the people I live with? To ignore their humanity and reduce them to mindless sex objects merely there for your moronic titillation?
Yes, please.
Same with Cridey TV.
You shower with the girls.
So hideously dull I can't describe it.
There he goes, sticking his tongue out again.
Screw his appeal. I want to see skin.
Yeah. What'd you say, Bird Tray Hat?
It's pretty bad to be agreeing with Kill Crazy. His reaction to the change in movie is pretty cute.
This is a joke, right? This isn't...
Wow, look at those eyes light up.
Forget the appeal.
I already have.
He also gives zero fucks that Lister is being pranked and finds it hilarious.
Why? You gotta get me back to normal.
The way Pete handles Cat is a little weird. After the last 2
Hi,
episodes,
Tajan.
the creators seem to go, hey, we need more for Cat to do. Let's have a bunch of scenes where he gets beat up.
He's like a nice guy.
At least the first one is kind of funny. It's definitely in character for Cat to not know when to shut up.
I was just saying how nice you seem. You spoke again.
Plus, it's to show how horrible Ackerman is. So it's almost like they agree with me that hurting Cat is messed up.
That is definitely the case.
Later on, Cat has a lot of cute bits during the basketball scene.
Try moving fast with a fishing pole in your pants.
Also, Danny's good at basketball, along with dancing, juggling, roller skating, singing, riding a unicycle, gun twirling, chopping vegetables like a pro, and blowing smoke rings. The second scene where Cat gets beat up, it's supposed to be funny, but it just falls flat for me. Apparently he bumped into Baxter and caused him to spill his soup, but the last shot you see Cat in, he's at the back of the line, so he had to have moved really quickly. And if he can do that, why can't he just get away from Baxter? I mean, hell, he once kneed a possessed Lister in the crotch while being strangled. If nothing else, he's supposed to have really quick reflexes. I can buy that he can't fight well without a bazookoid, but he should be able to get away and hide or something until Baxter cools off. That's what my cats do when they make me mad. Besides, there's a reason it took 8 seasons for Cat to get beat up. He's supposed to be untouchable. It's part of his cool factor. Hence scenes like Wax Droid Caligula slapping Lister instead of Cat when Cat won't stop insulting him. And it's part of why Lister takes the snowball in the face instead of Cat. It's kind of like the Dwayne Dibley thing in Back in the Red. It's like the creators needed a thing to happen to advance the plot, realize that Cat is lacking screen time, so they just have Cat do the thing or have the thing done to him to kill two birds with one stone without taking his character or abilities into account. It's kind of sloppy. Part of me is a little disappointed that the cat proverbs are now just being played for laughs.
There's no cat saying which has particular relevance here.
But this is a cute line.
We are all gonna die.
No one need be any the wiser.
He's right. I just listened to everything he said, and I still ain't got a clue what's happening.
Cat doesn't really do anything in part 2 other than having a few cute lines. Geez, how many times have I said something like that in this video?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have made some poppadoms on the whole hog.
A whole hog? Like it wasn't hard enough getting a whole cow? Something's inside me that wants to get out.
And being the butt of this alien gag.
It's overloaded. We've lost Mr. Rimmer.
At last, things are looking up.
Only the Good starts off with Cat complaining about the work they have him doing. The joke is that it sounds like they have him breaking rocks or something, but it turns out that it has to do with rock music.
I gotta put all the rock albums on the PA system. I gotta change those suckers once every 45 minutes.
I don't see how that's any worse than flying Starbug, which he was more than happy to do, but rule of funny, I guess. Or maybe it's different when it's something he doesn't choose to do on his own. Come to think of it, I can relate. Okay, here comes Cat's
True.
other standout scene.
Pass the salt, would you?
If you think Cat is annoying on accident, just look how bad he can be when he really puts his mind to it.
What the hell are you doing, Shirley?
I'm stealing your fries, fat boy.
Anyway, he wants this guy to beat him up so he'll end up in the hospital, which is where Rimmer and
Oops,
Lister
Moonbeam
are
fell
after
asleep.
their stomachs pumped.
Things are changing round here. From now on, marshmallow ass, you're my bitch.
I feel like he's using that food as a cushion so his teeth don't get broken. What is Season 8's obsession with Cat getting beat up? Either way, it doesn't happen here because the plan backfires spectacularly.
And welcome back,
The guy
Moonbeam.
is like,
Good morning.
"Wow, if you're not afraid of me, you must really be a badass."
You want me to be your bitch? That's fine by me, sir. I just want to make you happy.
Then hit me.
And hurt my baby's kisser. Nothing doing.
Damn.
God, this scene is great.
I love that
And
guy.
these two just dress up like a nurse. I don't know why he didn't just do that in the first place. By the way, Danny had a great comment about this.
It wasn't until I actually saw it back, and I thought, gee, I look like my mum.
Look like me
But hey, at least
mum.
we get to see an alternate version of Cat.
Cesium, Frankolithic, Mixi, Rixie, Dixie, Doxy, Dexy, Droxide.
Professor Cat is no slave to fashion, but he is oddly charming.
Can I have an extremely long piece of paper, my dear?
So that's Cat from Season 8. Like I said, he's got a couple of amazing moments, but for the most part, he's pretty much wasted. It's kind of like Season 1 again, where the writers don't really know what to do with Cat, so they just stick him in wherever they can so he gets more screen time. Really, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with this prison setting when it comes to Cat. You've got Rimmer and Lister in one cell, Crichton and Kachansky in another, and Cat is elsewhere. Granted, that's usually the case, but with the prison setting, Cat can't just show up whenever. He's mostly limited to canary missions and cafeteria scenes. And again, Season 8 is just kind of shallow. Like I said when I covered it, they reunite Lister with his old drinking buddies, and then he gets pulled away, never sees them again, and that's not addressed at all because they're too busy making jokey jokes. And the same goes for Cat. I don't expect him to get a lot of development or anything, but he's suddenly without all of his clothes and has to dress like everyone else, and he has to follow orders. You'd think that'd be a thing that would have some impact on him, but again, not addressed. Except for the
I mean, remember in Queeg, like he really hated following orders in that episode. Like, how come that didn't continue into this?
one scene in Only the Good where he complains about having to play records. As far as Cat's appearance this time around, it's pretty close to Season 7, only a reduced version of the sculpted bump has returned, making his hair look less soft, which I'm not a big fan of. The rest is about the same. His makeup is about the same too, as far as I can tell. Also, this is probably going to be the shortest costume segment I've ever done.
Yep.
In general, being that it's a prison setting, Cat basically has to dress like everyone else, but there are a couple minor things that set him apart. His canary uniform is the only one where the yellow shirt is shiny. Also, he gets to wear the cat belt with it. Same goes for the lilac jumpsuit, though the cat belt doesn't appear until towards the end. Throughout Back in the Red, he mostly wears that outfit that first showed up in Nanarchy. Then he wears it again at the end of Only the Good. I mean, it's the only outfit he has after Starbug blows up, so that makes sense. For the blue midget dance, he
Relative
wears the
phrase.
waist-length blue sequin jacket with the blue satin trim and diamond buttons that he wore in the beginning of Nanarchy. Only this time it's with blue pants made out of the same fabric as the trim, with sequins up the sides and a matching blue shirt with a brooch of some kind instead of a tie. Also a sparkly blue cummerbund and black and white saddle shoes. It's an amazing outfit, but again, I wish he hadn't already worn the jacket in a previous episode. Also, they kind of overdid it with the lipstick again. In Pete, on one hand, Cat wearing a basketball uniform, especially the same one as everyone else, is so wrong. On the other hand, I get to see him all sweaty with messed up hair, and damn, I didn't know this was a gun show.
Those are some pretty impressive biceps, I'm sorry.
But where did he get it?
Sorry, not
It
sorry, I
wasn't
should
the
have
outfit he
said.
was wearing when Starbug blew up. Maybe he was able to make a new one. That might explain why he's wearing the silver cat belt this time. He didn't have a chance to have the gold one remade yet. So that's about all I have to say about Cat in Season 8. Yeah, not much to talk about, really. Thank God Back to Earth treats him better, which I'm also just
Her
going to
female
jump right
gaze.
into. Speaking of jumping, that's how Cat makes his first appearance.
Ha.
From the glass ceiling.
What happened to you? You got it.
Cat don't need a license for those
Cat's
guns.
been attacked by a giant squid, and I love how he tells the story.
This massive testicle shoots up out of the water and grabs me by the throat.
I mean, he was genuinely scared.
It pulled me down into the icy waters, and I'm shouting and screaming because everything I'm wearing is dry clean only.
Not just for his life, but for his clothes.
So I combed my hair and fainted. Came to, I'm on the floor by the side of the tank. No sign of the creature.
They all want to kill it, but Cat wants no part of that.
I'm still in trauma. Look at my suit. It may not pull through. I'm a cat. Nobody bosses Mr. C around, buddy.
Mr. C, that's a new one.
If I flushed the entire ship's supply of tuna out of an airlock. When are we leaving?
Gotta love how quickly his mood changes.
When we go in 2 minutes.
2 minutes? 2 minutes? I need to make myself look sensational. Make it 3.
So of course he's holding up the wrong number of fingers. It's been a while since he did that.
And don't wear nothing lilac.
Fun fact, notice how it fades to black before Cat is all the way out the door? There's an outtake where Danny tripped on the way out.
Oh, wait!
I think rather than doing
So
a retake,
funny.
they just cut the scene short.
Saw something moving. My bowels if you keep shouting like that.
Wow, wee,
Poor
woof.
Cat got all wet and had his hair and clothes messed up twice in one episode. He's just having a really bad day. Katarina shows up and Cat seems awfully interested in her being a hard light hologram. Later when they're all teleported to the department store, I love how everyone else has a nasty, painful landing, while Cat just lands on his feet and dances away. Also the lack of reaction from those people in the background. It's subtle, but I love Cat's reaction here.
Who incidentally has a very small penis.
I love Cat's version of an identity crisis here.
I'm not really either. Does that mean I'm not really this good looking?
Poor sad kitty. And he holds that expression for a really long time, too.
And their metaphysical odyssey begins. All my life, I've wanted to go on a metaphysical odyssey. For years, I never thought I'd get the chance.
Wow, that's a very specific goal there, Cat.
How are we gonna trace our creators? We ain't got no wheels, ain't got no dough.
I know it's nitpicky, but I don't like Cat using slang like wheels and dough. He's usually more literal than that. I'll go into it more later, but I love Cat making the little origami squids.
Fish scale? Not fish.
Cat would definitely recognize the smell of fish.
Where'd you get my coat?
Like I said, I kind of like Cat being the muscle of the group. There's another great little Cat is dumb gag.
Big boss, he bit your brain. He bit your brain too. It was a Friday.
I already talked about how this bit was a bitch to film, partly because Danny kept messing up his lines.
I'm so sorry. I have to go to the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back. Sorry to quit in the middle like that, but I don't think I could have made it all the way through.
Oh, sorry about that. Alright, at least I paused it right before here. I'll even back up a tiny bit. There we go.
Big boss, he picked your brain. He picked your brain too. It was a Friday.
I already talked about how this bit was a bitch to film, partly because Danny kept messing up his lines.
Security check. Oh, bollocks.
Bollocks. It's cute how Craig was really nice about it, though.
It's not your fault, mate.
He was clearly in a bad mood, but he didn't want Danny to think it was his fault.
Don't let it stress you out.
Yeah, don't worry.
We'll always doesn't matter. We're going to come back to this anyway.
We've done it once.
We're going to come back to this anyway.
We're
We'll
gonna
come back to this when we've got makeup.
It's kind of sweet.
This is worse than Rimmerworld.
Considering what he said about Rimmerworld, that's pretty bad.
Can you imagine a society composed entirely of me?
The last time I did that, it took me a week to dry the mattress.
Here's a really subtle cat is dumb gag.
I know you're not all here.
He's not all here, but the rest of us are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Cat catching the gun. He's kind of a badass again. Ow. And there's another fall over. Doesn't quite top the one from Epidemic,
Almost forgot
but it's
about that
always
one.
fun to see Cat do that. This is the point where Cat finally questions why he's been making origami squids.
What is it with these damn things? Why do I keep making them?
I love that detail. I know it's a reference to Blade Runner, but it's also Cat having some kind of sixth sense. He subconsciously knows that something is off, and that it has to do with a squid, so he starts absent-mindedly expressing that by making little origami squids. And he doesn't know why he's doing it. It just feels right for some reason.
Why would I be making squids?
And of course, it eventually leads to the revelation that all of this has been a hallucination triggered by a female despair squid. Cat's sense of smell is back.
Kachansky? I can smell her perfume.
And I think this is the first time he's ever referred to Kachansky by her actual name. And now, everyone comes out of it, except for Lister. And watch Cat's reaction.
What if Monkey Boy chooses not to fight this?
Aww. Again, big step up from season 1. Hell, it's a big step up from Identity Within. Anyway,
I kind of brought her.
It's all Cat's fault.
I'm gonna eat you, little fishy, 'cause I like little fish.
There's a fun callback. So that's Cat and Back to Earth, and I like him so much better than I did the last couple seasons. In fact, he's basically season 6 Cat again. Aside from not getting any piloting to do, he's got fast reflexes, can be kind of aggressive when he needs to be, has heightened senses, and even shows a little bit of sensitivity. And in a weird way, he's smarter than everyone else because some part of his brain figured out what was happening early on. He just didn't know how to process that information. But of course, he's still sometimes goofy and sassy and dramatic. He even looks a bit more like he did in season 6. They don't go overboard with the makeup, and his hair has just a little bit of poof and a prominent ponytail. Okay, maybe the hair is more season 7. And even though he only wears 3 outfits, it's a 3-episode miniseries, so that balances out, even though he goes through all 3 in the first episode. Rather than going in chronological order, I'll get the ridiculous one out of the way first. That diving suit. What the hell was he thinking? I actually didn't like this one at first. It's a metallic hot pink bodysuit with a codpiece type thing, which I guess is meant to hold guns, and these weird gauntlets and shoulder guard looking things which are all covered in sequins. And there are weird bell-bottom looking ruffles on the legs. He's also got pink goggles to go with it and a matching pink band in his hair. So I'm always trying to point out that while his outfits aren't really appropriate for the setting, they tend to look good on their own, and he tends to balance out bright colors with black. So they're sensible in their own weird way. So I hated this thing when I first saw it because it kind of ignores that. But then I realized a couple things. First of all, I think it's a callback to the gold spacesuit with the giant jeweled cufflinks he wore back in Crichton.
girl.
So this isn't totally out of character, is it? It's just rare. I guess for Cat, this was another special occasion, so he went nuts. I think another reason for this ridiculous outfit is that it had been nearly a decade since the last season of Red Dwarf, and since Cat is known for his over-the-top outfits, they wanted to try to top
There's
the
that outfit that
previous
makes me
ones,
think of
and
Glitter
also
and Gold
nostalgia.
Gem again.
So yeah, I don't love it. I think I'd be okay with it if it were just the bodysuit without all the crazy accessories, but it doesn't bother me or anything. It also doesn't leave much to the imagination. In fact,
I've given pleasure to the world because I have such a beautiful ass.
You can pretty much judge for yourself here if that's true or not. So regarding the other two outfits, you know, I like to separate Kat's changes in style into eras. Like, the first 2 seasons were more or less the era for super nice suits. Then things got a bit more erratic as the costume department started experimenting, and then he settled into the black vinyl and leather era. Well, even though there's only 2 outfits, it's only a 3-episode series and there's a theme, so I like to call this the fur coat era. The first outfit we see him in is actually the black vinyl pants and turtleneck base with the cat belt from season 6 and 7. Though I literally just noticed that you can actually see some suspenders added, but they can only be seen in this one shot, with that fur coat that originally showed up in maroon. Old pieces, but we've never seen them together before, and I kind of love the combination of fluffy whitish fur with shiny black vinyl. That's a really interesting
Dina was having
look.
a Danny's
And
attractive
even though a
face
lot
in
of his
this
hair has
video.
come out of it, the rest is secured in
I kind
a
of
little
always
silver
do.
bow in the back. Too bad we only get to see this outfit messed up. I did find an image online that appears to have been taken before that. Either they had Danny get into costume and did his hair properly before messing it all up, or maybe there was going to be an early scene from before the squid attack. Either way, here's what it would have looked like. The final outfit we see Kat in, which he wears for most of Back to Earth, is easily one of my favorites. Pants, frilly shirt, and vest all made of red satin. The black sequin shapes look like they might have been taken off the jacket from Back to Reality, which is kind of appropriate. Also, I think that another one of those is in his hair. I've read that this outfit is meant to be a bit of a callback to the Riviera Kid costume, and yeah, after having read that, I can kind of see it. Mainly how the frilly shirt and vest go together, along with the placement of the decorative bits. Though the fact that it's a totally different color scheme makes that a little hard to catch. Over that, he's
Along
wearing
with
a
the
long
jacket.
coat that seems to be made of maroon long pile velvet with a brown fur trim with matching brown suede boots. And while it doesn't show up too well on the brown, I believe it's got that black corsage looking pin from season 7. Man, this outfit is gorgeous. Now that I'm looking at it again, it's competing with that zebra print coat for my all-time favorite Cat outfit. So that's pretty much all of my thoughts on Cat, as far as how he's portrayed in Red Dwarf season 6 through 9. Once again, Cat surprised us with how much he had grown and matured in season 6. Unfortunately, he regressed a little in season 7, which would have been reflected in Identity Within, and it carried over into season 8. But then Back to Earth Cat felt a lot more like season 6 Cat. After this, I'll be picking up with the Red Dwarf vlogs starting on season 10, and the rest of the Cat videos won't start until I've covered the rest of the series. See you then.
There we go. There we go. We're at the shorter version. I just love that bit where he falls. Wow, wee, oof. Yep, we're gonna be back to season 10 with shorter videos. Hopefully I wonder if I can get through season 10 next weekend. Maybe also that What Happened to Rimmer video. We'll see. And then is season 12. Wait, no, season 11 and season 12. Oh yeah, and thanks for the memories versus clues. Still quite a few videos left. Just because I'm almost up to season 10 doesn't mean I don't still have like a million fucking videos. Alright. Get caught up on the chat and then I'll wrap up. I should be finishing around 4. Oh yeah, again, since Cat refused to wear his earlier disguise on top of his normal outfit. Yeah, and then 5 minutes later, he's like, oh, I'll dress like Dwayne Dibley. I forgot that both of those happened in the Back to the Red.
episodes. Back in the Red. It's confusing it with Back to Earth. Yeah, I've accepted the idea that cats' extra nipples and extra mammaries on female cat sapiens are basically vestigial. Sometimes humans do get extra nipples. As far as I know, female ones don't develop into breasts. That's a good point. Hi, St. Clinton. I didn't see you before. What I found funny is that the name of the characters that Danny played on the show, Death in Paradise, was Dwayne. That's funny. Cat is so awesome that he can make a shuttlecraft air guitar just by pointing at it. And nobody notices it's a dream sequence. Yeah, good point. By the way, the Smeg Ups tape has claymation interspersed with the tongue-tied video. Yeah, I've seen that. That's so dumb, I should have said it as a phrase I tend to use sometimes, except I change it to that was so odd I should have said it. That's funny. I'm surprised they never made a joke, or at least a point of Cat trying to customize his prison and canary outfits. Yeah, I mean, he clearly gets to an extent, but there's never any mention of it or anything. Hell no, we've drunk coffee thousands of times. We're pros. I forgot that he said we're pros at the end of that. I like the fan theory that even Kachansky doesn't remember Einstein because Red Dwarf has proved multiple times the theory of relativity isn't accurate, so he's been kind of forgotten. That's funny. Kid Cat was really cute, and that high voice was actually a really good impression. Yeah, it was. It's too bad he didn't have fangs, but I can understand why they wouldn't want to do that to a kid. Make him wear those. I don't like to pick on kid actors, but the kid playing de-aged Cat doesn't exactly have a consistent accent. I mean, doesn't he only say one line? I love that list of things cats can do. I'm glad somebody got a kick out of that. I think I never got to update it after this episode. He didn't do anything. Didn't do anything or mention any special talents after that. Special talents. It's like I'm talking about ponies. Tara. At least Cat remembered to be a cat in Back to Earth when he flies out of the TV and lands on his feet. Yeah, like I said in that video, he felt a little more like Season 6 Cat. I'm at the point where Moonbeam woke up. Want to know how slow my phone is? It's only now informed me about the stream. Yeah, I think when I get the alert about it, I don't know why it sends me an alert, but whenever I get it, it's always like halfway through the stream or something. Dina likes to think that this scene is how the riot in Silent Hill Downpour started. God, I was like right in the thick of my Red Dwarf obsession when I made that video, so I referenced Red Dwarf 4 times. In my Silent Hill Downpour video. You could tell the actor playing Big Meat was enjoying himself. Yeah, that was one of the few good things about Season 8. It had a lot of really good one-off characters. Big Meat was one of them. I'll write the first Ceci and Frank. Yeah. Yeah, Queeg is a good episode. Shortest costume segment being a relative phrase. cat can't be cat without the cat belt. I think that's what you were saying there. Yeah, female gaze. Yeah, there was a lot of that in this video. Cat don't need a license for that guns. I already read that one, but... Yeah, that gun show line. I had just recently watched a video that showed a guy making candy, and they have to, you know, kind of like fold the candy over itself, and they have to use their arms a lot. And the guy had really buff, muscular arms and these really impressive biceps. And someone posted in the comments section, "I didn't know this was going to be a gun show." That really stuck with me, and so I kind of borrowed that line for this video. There's a great bit in Last Human where they get Cat to chase someone down in a market, and he tells Crichton to guard his jacket with his life. That's cute. Just promise me that if you get trapped in a burning building, the jacket leaves first. Sir, guarding this jacket is my new reason to live. That's all I wanted to hear. That's so cute. I love that. Life sort of imitates art. Craig has to cheer Danny up. He's a lot better at it than Cat, though. Whoops. Stupid thing refreshed. There we are. Tara, stop being a butt. Surprised you never added fake falls to Danny's talents list. Well, it's not something that was really like talked about outside the episode. I think that's why. Excuse me. Okay, there's the heartburn. I guess I probably did that earlier. And didn't even notice because I'm so used to it. My favorite one is still from Justice. My favorite is still the one from Epideme. Rimmer dies at the end of Last Human, and Cat is genuinely sad about it. Aww. Well, I remember there was a scene in Promised Land where they thought Rimmer was dead, and Cat was sad about it, and he said something about it leaving a hole. Well, Cat could have toppled over arse over tit, but his face freezes in mid-victory as he falls backwards, which is what makes it really funny. That's true. Which was worse, the golden spacesuit or the pink wetsuit? I guess the golden spacesuit was worse because it had giant cufflinks on it. Cat looks like he stepped out of the 70s. I wonder if the wetsuit would look better in the water. Good question. I think I would have liked, like I said in the video, I think I would have liked it better if not for all the weird little details. Like if it was just a bodysuit, I think it wouldn't have been so bad. Too bad we can't have Cat and Al from Quantum Leap meet. I would have loved to see them talk about their outfits together. I like the idea of crossing over Cat with other fashion-conscious characters. Like we've discussed in previous streams, I think he'd get along well with Rarity. R.I.P. Identity Within. Oops, sorry. Set that glass down a little harder than I meant to. Oh, another Cat outfit Dina doesn't like in that screenshot. I don't remember what was showing at the time. Oh, probably from season 10. Yeah, he had a couple. Oh, Yeah, really just one episode in season, one outfit in season 10 I didn't like. That's so funny that you remember all those. Digestive system, baby. Fathers and Sons next week. Woo! Now, actually, Trojan is next week. Fathers and Sons is after that. Well, yeah, technically you're right. Fathers and Sons will be next week, just not the next episode. Just to bring back the Coronation Street conversation, it has 10,230 episodes to be exact. God damn. One character is in his 90s now. Holy shit. Or the actor. Speaking of Einstein, I love the joke later on when they think they've found him, but he turns out to be a random bloke called Bob the Bum. Yeah, that's a good one. I suddenly don't remember the name of that episode. Oh, Twentica. It was an odd name. Yeah, Twentica was a good one. Still awake, Moonbeam. Tara, shut up. Dina doesn't want to pronounce it. No, I didn't. What Red Dwarf characters would be in The Wizard of Oz? Cat would be Lion, obviously. You'd think he would be Scarecrow, as he doesn't have a brain. He can almost be either. I can easily think of Crichton as the Tin Man. He's so emotional. That's true. I have a good memory, just not for things like where I put my pen. Yeah, I know the feeling. I only remember, like, really mundane things. Like what Cat wore in every single episode. Coronation Street is still going too, so yeah, quite the long runner. Holly would be Scarecrow. He really misses his intellect from his prime. That's a good one. Yeah, that works. How long would it have took you to memorize the word if you were on one of the actors? Oh my god. I don't know, man. Like, I guess I could if I had to, but it would not be fun. Lister strives to get home, so he's Dorothy. That's true. Holly would be Oz the Great and Powerful because floating head. No, that makes sense too. If only I had an IQ of 6,000. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. That leaves Rimmer as the Wicked Witch. Rimmer would be the lion. Oh, that's true. He is the cowardly one, isn't he? Once again, Cat could maybe be the Scarecrow, except he has better fashion sense, though. Cat with the Cowardly Lion's accent, though. Cat is Toto. He is sort of Lister's pet, at least in the earlier seasons. So, okay. So would that make Frankenstein Toto? Crichton's the Tin Man. I feel like we'll all agree on that. Yeah, he's it's obvious, but like, as someone else mentioned, he is emotional too, so it actually does work, beyond him being a droid. Okay, everybody. I'll show you guys the painting I did last night real quick. I just touched it in a spot where it's wet, but it didn't come off or anything, so I should be able to handle this all right. Let's see. Oh, let me look at myself live so I can make sure I'm doing this right. See, I did another poured painting last night. There we go. You can get a pretty good view of it there. Once again, I'm always doing these with a specific idea in mind of what I want the painting to look like, and it ends up looking nothing like what I intended. But I end up liking how they look anyway. I think this kind of looks like a... Like, this looks like the ground and this is the sky, kind of. So I kind of like how it looks. I didn't use any red in this, which is weird. I went by a tutorial that Pushing Up Roses has where it looks like red water, kind of. It's supposed to look all bubbly. Dr. Langstrom is Wicked Witch of the West. So this is actually the one, this is a little closer to what I was trying to go with. What was I? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Pushing Up Roses, the tutorial she did, it was supposed to have a lot of red in it. And it kind of looked like red water, and there was bubbles and everything. And this looks... I actually replaced the red with blue, and yet you can hardly see any blue in this. The only red in this is that I used metallic fuchsia, and it kind of mixed with the gold, and I ended up with kind of this orangey color. But yeah, the blue nearly disappeared. It looks... In this image, it looks... You know what? I have my lights on. That's probably affecting the color. I didn't even think of that. Hang on a second. Ow. There we go. That's probably a little closer to its real color. So here's my new poured painting. I am going to start selling these at some point. I have an Etsy store. I haven't quite started listing them yet, though. So there we go. I'll get you my Smeggy and your little cat, too. Stupid. Kachansky is Glinda. I guess that would work. That or Cat is the Scarecrow and Holly is the wizard himself. Pay no attention to that man reading the Kids A to Z of the Universe hardcover. Thanks, Moonbeam. I like that painting. Looks like an aerial shot, as I said on Twitter. Oh, I didn't see that on Twatter. Too bad. That's a pretty good typo there, but too bad you didn't accidentally call it Twatter. That would have been funny. I don't think I saw that comment on Twitter, but thank you. Winnie the Pooh is the Wicked Witch of the East and gets killed by the house. Thank you, Flash. Poured paint is really fun. Like I said, a lot of times it... Oh, hi Sticks. Yeah, I'm about to wrap up. Yeah, a lot of times they never turn out the way I want them to, but they still end up looking pretty cool, so it's kind of fun to mess with. I'll show you how the ruby slippers work. Just give them here. It's almost like I can fall into the painting like Mario and take a swim. Thank you. Pre is the Wicked Witch. I like that. That works. Toaster would be a good Oz/real Oz. Talkie Toaster? I guess so. Do you think Cat has a collarbone as cats don't have collarbones? Well, I mean, he obviously does. You can see it on him, so... I think. Actually, a lot of his outfits go all the way up to his neck, so it's hard to tell. I'm sure he does, though. The mini rimmers are the munchkins. There you go. Follow the rimmer-shaped blur. Bring me the witch's Starbuck. All right. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up for real now. Yeah, Flash wins. Okay, thanks for joining me, everybody. This was fun. I guess I'll probably continue next week unless I happen to have some artwork to color or something. So yeah, see you next week. Thanks for joining me. Have a good rest of the weekend. Bye.